Thanks, Rowan. Paddy Ryder is going to be such an important player for Essendon over the coming years.
Oh, he's a wonderful young player, Matty, and no doubt about that. It's interesting, Rowan Smith seemed to be very happy with the fact that the roof was shut today, because it's obviously a cold old wet day in Melbourne, but the Crows, I've just got a sneaky feeling, Shorey, that they can get the job done this afternoon, mainly because they've got so much to play for at the top four spot on offer.
Well, I think it's pretty important. You want to play finals. Essendon, we know, will struggle. They'd have to win every game and still might not make it. But look, they played Richmond last week. The only thing I'm a bit worried about, having an easy win against Richmond last week, it wasn't very physical. I think Essendon are a little bit ahead of Richmond in that area at the moment. So can they just reach that level of last week and get to a competitive height that I think will win the game for them? I think you're right. I think they might turn that hoodoo around.
Fascinating game, though, isn't it? Because each team has different zones on the ground where they're going to dominate. Hill's going to start well for Essendon, but if they get inside their forward 50, Adelaide will be comfortable to run it out.
You look at that matchup there, Rutten going to Lloyd, which is probably on the cards as well. Laycock starting forward for the Bombers as well there. So they've got plenty of height, the Bombers. Don't worry about that this afternoon. They're forward 50.
There's a good match. Jetta on Thompson.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I don't think it'll last long somehow.
No. We're set to go. Here's this big game. Can Adelaide beat Essendon in Melbourne? And there's Jetta first towards it. Not quite possession. Ball spills out. First real clean possession to Edwards. Got it off to McKay. High ball into the forward 50. Big punch over the top came from Lovett Murray. Good clean take by Stanton. The release perhaps a bit quick, though. Back to Mackay. McLeod. You can't give him time because that's the net result. Player free on the other side. Van Berlo spots him, and Symes should score first for Adelaide.
Gee, a great, just the switch of play was sensational. And that man, Andrew McLeod, I'm trying to pick it. It looks like Slattery's got the job on McLeod, who's playing up forward. So very attacking move, I think, from Neil Craig early to set this game up.
Interesting setup too from the Bombers. Paddy Ryder starting forward this afternoon.
2 goals, 4 for the season for Symes, the former Port Adelaide player. Gets pretty close to the man on the mark. He's inside 50 and he's hooked it. And a minor score, so 2 goals, 5 for the season.
They've loaded up their forward line, the Bombers. Laycock, Ryder, Lloyd, all marking targets. McPhee in there as well.
Fletcher decides to go very long, past the apex of the square. The spoil comes back. That so often happens when you get a long kick to a pack like that. But a fumble by McLeod has left Essendon in with a shot here. Lonergan. Good hands. It's back with Welsh eventually.
Good option that was. Really good option.
Laycock. Love it running fast. 55 metres from goal. Headed towards Watson, who's in the pocket. And also there is Monfries, and we'll have a boundary throw in, tight near the boundary.
Really good option coming out of the fence there. Lloyd was the wide lead. Kept the ball in the corridor.
By the post. Hill beaten to it by Marich. Advantage, you heard the umpire. Van Berlo's free kick, and away go the Crows. Stevens the target, uses his body well, but Lovett Murray came back to the contest, didn't give up on it. He'll be happy with the net result of a boundary throw-in.
Just to show the flexibility of Dustin Fletcher, he's playing on Graham Johncock, who started up forward, so we know he can play on tall and small. And as we said, Mal Michael's got the job on Nick Gill.
Marich looking for Thompson. Lonergan pinches it from him. He's wrapped up by McKay.
Damien Peveril has gone to Tyson Edwards, who was so good again last week in the midfield.
Lonergan's got Van Berlo. They both missed it. Here's Peveril. Again, pretty tough to get out of this congested area here. Needs someone with clean hands. And eventually Thompson gets it from McKay. Van Berlo was slow, got the benefit of the doubt. Welsh ripped down to the ground. It's pretty tough and willing at the moment, Tony.
Well, so it should be if you're playing for a spot in the final, and there's a bit of pride in this Essendon side. I think they've had a very good season so far, and good signs for next year if they weren't to make the finals, of course.
Well, they're on the right track. The Bombers, they need to finish the season off strongly. Oh, this is a good releasing handball.
Gee, McKay started well. Over to McLeod. Inside the 50, McLeod heads for home. It's going to be marked right on the line by Michael. Just not enough from Andrew McLeod.
Well, he was caught in between there. Slattery went, and the ball got out the back, and he left McLeod goal side, which is dangerous. Such a good ball user, McLeod. Quite had the carry, though.
Jeddah, that's a little bit short for Hill, and the big man's got to get down to pick it up.
Get it back, though.
Now, will he back himself to outrun him? Arches the back, and away he goes. His kick forward. Monfries was the target, but an easy spoil for Doughty over the top.
Doughty's got the job on Monfries, and Monfries, Doughty's accumulated a lot of the ball coming out of the half-back line. So big job for Angus Monfries, but he's got to kick his goals.
He's almost taken over the role from John Cock, Doughty, hasn't he?
Yes, he has, no doubt. Well, John Cock, you know, in a 67 or 60-odd point win last week, only had 7 possessions. His form, he's been in pretty ordinary form.
He's got ordinary form, and Dustin Fletcher picks you up. Footy gods aren't smiling on him at the moment.
No.
There's a push. Hill will take the free kick. So goals hard to come by early here at the Dome. Essendon trying to do something about it. Watson again the target. Symes hesitated. Tackle from Ryder was a good one, and it's rewarded.
Gee, it was tough on it. It was tough.
I don't know if there was much prior. Well, he tried to take the tackle, but great tackle by Paddy Ryder, who started forward, as I mentioned earlier. They've loaded up their forward line, the Bombers, with tools. They've started Joe Watson out of the goal square. We know he's a prolific ball winner.
Don't understand that move other than assisting goals, but Goodwin's gone with him, so you're taking a dangerous player. I wouldn't be playing Simon Goodwin as nearly a full back at the moment.
3 goals for the season, Ryder.
Good kick.
He's made that 4. Wonderful finish. Essendon didn't get the first goal.
Well, I'm just thinking about with Ryder and Watson up forward, Matty Knights, is he just trying a few things knowing that maybe they won't play finals and, you know, they want to trial a couple of things? Paddy Ryder, look at that for a kick from outside 50. You like to think that any forward who got the ball like that and can convert as well as that, he might have a part to play. I still think he's going to be a very good defender. Jeddah's gone forward. Laycock's forward. You're right, they have really put some big bodies into their forward line, Essendon.
So good finish by Ryder, and interesting happening in the forward line at the moment for Essendon. Monfries is tagging McLeod, and Jeddah's gone forward as well. So far, Knights on top in the chess moves, if you like. Coach-wise, back in the middle, Marich. And there's a free kick. It's going to Adelaide.
And Shorey, Joe Watson's just moved himself into the midfield. So Simon Goodwin is not running with him at the moment. So looks like he's going to be picked up by Shirley.
And that's a tough job. He was the man that won the free kick, and Shirley can close you down the best of times. This is Douglas. Long searching handball back. Here's Doughty. Now he's got time to weigh up his options.
Well, they've stayed off him here.
Yep. Heads to the 50. Strong spoil. Essendon with numbers at the fall of the ball. Trying to run it out. Welsh was there. Lovett Murray also. Nash too. But Adelaide, they'll be happy with that. They've wrapped it up inside their forward 50. They get a ball up.
Good result too. But Essendon were going to clear. We look at the clearance count. It's an area the Bombers need to be right on top. Adelaide very good around the stoppages. 5-1. Good start by the Crows. Bombers, though, with a goal on the board early days.
Douglas will make it 6-1 in the clearances. Spins out of trouble, wobbles it forward. The ball's alive. And we'll have a ball up again. That's a bit of an issue already, isn't it? 6-1 in the clearances, appearing to do it with ease.
Well, it's interesting because I think Hill is the danger player here for the Crows this afternoon, but Marrick started off very well on him. They set up well, the Crows.
They're looking for a rush behind here, Essendon. Not yet. Peveril to clear. Mackay gets a bad bounce. So does Lovett. Edwards went without it. Beautiful give on the up from Andrew Lovett.
That's a good give.
That's the forward handball from Watson, releasing Stanton. Essendon go forward. Need a crummer. Monfries is there. Loves this situation. Again, just trying to keep it alive, Essendon. Rutten on hands and knees. And that Adelaide defence, they don't panic. Bassett, Bock, they combine well. Symes breaks for him. Now on the burst. Rebound footy from the Crows. Gill the target.
That's his go-to, Nick Gill.
Yeah.
Get on the lead when you're playing on Mel Michael. You put it on his head. Michael loves that.
Long ball. John Cock, round the corner, needs a kind bounce, doesn't get it. Time for Ramanauskas, who started on the bench. Now he measures the kick. Hard running from Big David Hill.
Got chase.
That's Dangerfield, who's on the ground, looking for his first touch.
He's super quick, Matty.
Yep. Ryder beaten to it this time by Bock. And this game, there's nothing in it at the moment. I'm sure we've got 5 points on the scoreboard, but there's a lot of one-on-one contests around the ground.
Watson already.
Yep, having an effect from the clearance. Lloyd making sure that it's still alive.
I've got no doubt that the Crows want this sort of game. This is a game they want. They don't want to shoot out with the Bombers because the Bombers have got a lot of leg speed. The Crows can kick goals at this ground, but they want to make it as tight as possible.
Laycock somehow ended up with it. Took his time to get it out. Watson ran into trouble. Massey back to Edwards. The switch. A little bit too much on the kick for Doughty. Out of bounds.
Let's have a look at big Laycock here, Shorey. He's just like a big statue there. They haven't really impeded him.
Hold on. Hold on.
He actually didn't know what he was doing then. The big man, he didn't think he'd have that much time.
It did not compute.
Open forward line here, the Crows.
Symes on the end of it again. Spoil was a good one from Michael. Gill recovered well, though. Douglas shoots out the handball. John Cock, another shot at goal. Going to the goal square. Not needed was Douglas. But John Cock kicks the first goal for the Crows, and they've hit the front.
Good build-up, good transition from half-back for the Crows. They did it with hands. They like to do it. Not a great kick to Gill. Put it on his head, but his second effort was good. And I like this move of John Cock. You mentioned it, Tony Shaw, before the game. He's been sadly out of form. Just 7 touches in defence last week. He's a dangerous forward. We know that. He's done it before.
Well, what's going on is that Nick Gill looks dangerous on Mel Michael when he pushes up the ground. John Cock will outrun Dustin Fletcher if he pushes up the ground, so they can keep swapping that around. It's not a bad move, as I say. He has to kick 2 to 3 goals on Fletcher to win the contest.
We should remember he is a leading goal kicker early in his career for the Adelaide Crows before he shifted to that half-back line, so maybe it's the correct move. We'll wait and see, but he's got his first against Fletcher. We're back with the action. Waiting for the whistle, and the player's quite happy to go again.
Fascinated to see what's going on with Andrew McLeod. Angus Monfries is just off that contest to the right of screen. He's trying to get involved, and he's playing a really defensive role there, Angus Monfries. I don't mind it because McLeod actually they need to put a lot of pressure and a lot of time into Andrew McLeod. We know that. Monfries is dangerous around goals.
Watson's kick got a fair bit of distance on it. Bock read it the best, and he clears out to Van Berlo, who's in absolute sparkling form at the moment. 40 disposals and 32 in his last 2 games. Shirley.
That's a good hit up.
That's an Adelaide pass, isn't it? Measured beautifully. Stevens, the
that's
target.
a great kick.
That's
a great kick.
Well, that was just, he double-teamed in there, and he ran him back to the goal square, Mel Michael, and the kick was just spot on. He actually kicked to the space. Gill read it beautifully, and he got front position. It was a hold anyway, and a good, strong mark. Gee, that was clever, Tony.
That's a dangerous matchup because Nick Gill is an aerobic athlete and Mel Michael isn't.
His kicking can let him down, though, as we know. He's outside 50. And he's hooked it left. So a couple of set shots from Adelaide. One from Symes, one from Gill. And at the moment, they lead by just the 2 behinds.
Yeah, they've got the outlet kick here, which will be Ramanauskas on the outer side of the ground. If he wants him. Oh, that's a risky kick in.
Certainly could hurt the Bombers here.
Well done, Fletcher.
Stevens got involved. The smother saving the day from Fletcher. Peveril to the wing to Lovett. McPhee in some space. Wider. That's a
shocking bounce.
The late inclusion, Reece Magan. If you just joined us, there was a change. Hocking out, Magan in for the Bombers. The young man from Queensland couldn't get involved. Welsh can. McPhee thought about Magan again, and that's a poor kick.
You see the Crows already. They want to use hands today. They're trying to include everyone to get that run from half-back.
And precision pass finds Douglas. It came from Edwards.
Big Brad
Good
Moran.
running. Good
Big Brad
running.
Moran on the burst.
Holding.
Yeah.
Free kick against Mel.
I don't
Against
know.
Lovett. In fact, against Lovett Murray.
Yeah, on Stevens. Just the see Nathan Lovett Murray. He gets when he's under pressure, he will go to that, and things like holding a jumper, thinking it's out of the umpire's sight. We'll see what happens here. He doubles back. He just wraps around. Gee, if that's the free kick.
Oh, please.
But I have seen Nathan Lovett. What he does, he wants to make contact when the ball's away from him. He's just got to watch the ball in flight sometimes.
Essendon got a problem at the moment. Got a player coming off. Stevens kicks the goal for the Crows. They're out to an 8-point lead.
Well, I reckon that comes back again from half-back. The run and carry through the middle of the ground. As we see, is that Dempsey coming off the ground?
He's had some injuries, hasn't he?
Yep.
Let's have a little look at this free kick again.
Now, if this is the free kick, the umpire, that is wrong.
No.
But look, I know that wasn't a free kick, but at times he does hang on and he goes to that because he really worries about the pressure.
That was a shocking decision.
No, that was, I'm with you. It was horrible.
Well, Stevens gets the goal. On reflection on the replay, it was for a flyby.
I can understand if there was a jumper stretched.
Yeah, no doubt.
An arm across, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Loving their work out of the centre square here. So far, the
Laycock
Crows.
flips it out the back. McLeod gets it 45, 50 metres off the ground. Peveril did well. Kick just sliding off the side, but gets Slattery, ran past Lonergan to receive. Now he's in some space. Gee, he drilled that hard.
Good
to Ryder. That's outstanding. Gee, like that as a forward, wouldn't you? Hitting it that hard. No chance whatsoever for a defender to get involved there.
And you like that as a midfielder, someone who leads as quick and as hard in the space like that.
Yeah.
It makes the kick, even if you wobble it off the side of the boot, I think he's 5 metres in front of his opponent.
Ryder, 50 games, just 20 years of age, lining up for his second. The first one was about the same distance. This time he's just pushed it right.
Let's get down to Rowan Smith and see what the update is on Courtney Dempsey for the Bombers.
Well, Piggers, he was favouring his left ankle at the moment, but they've taken him straight down underneath the grandstand, so I can't give you a complete update, but the doctor and the physio have gone down there with him, so I'll give you an update in a minute, mate.
Well, to me, it looked like an Achilles tendon even, perhaps. It didn't look like he'd rolled his ankle.
No, he's just pulled up in mid-stride, hasn't he?
Or maybe even a calf, but it'd be lower leg, you'd think.
Yep.
Good tackle.
Ramanauskas, the man involved,
Got him.
gets the free kick.
That is a good decision. You cannot use the boundary line as a get-out stakes on a good tackle.
He thought he could.
Yeah. Backpedaling back into the crowd.
They've taken Andrew McLeod back to the defensive goal square here. Angus Monfries, good move.
7-point margin to Adelaide.
Yep.
Adelaide free kick, the push. Rutten will receive.
It's against Lloyd. He pushed him in the middle of the back. And Matty Lloyd took him out of the contest.
Here we go again. It's Stevens.
Oh, this holding.
Oh, that time he had the jumper and he let it go. 50-50. In underneath that is Riley for Adelaide.
Now, that should be holding the ball. Gee, I might take up umpire. No, the interpretation, I think a lot of times umpires, as soon as someone pulls the ball in, I think you give away all credit about how you're trying to get rid of the ball, and that's exactly how it should be paid. And I didn't mean that about umpiring.
Yes, I'm glad. A lot of people sitting at home just spilling their coffee.
Thanks, Matty.
McPhee on the end of the pass from Nash, and good running again from Slattery, and he's off. And he's going to kick it high and long to the square. Lloyd at the back. Too strong. Just couldn't quite complete the transaction. Ball at the square. Ball up. You would have backed Matty to take most of those.
My word, he did everything right. We have a look at it again. He worked him under the ball pretty hard. He's still got to pluck it. There's a bit of a little bit of luck involved there. Look at those big biceps of Lloyd. He's going. Matty Lloyd.
Gee, their hands are good, Adelaide.
How good's Mackay going at the moment? That's a wonderful handball to get it to him, and then out wider to Symes. Here's Goodwin. And again, they'll back each other in with some run. Mackay again.
Oh, good
How's
kick.
that for some vision?
He's got Symes pushing through to centre half forward.
Campbell's got a runner. It's Riley. Well, now, in turn, they're going to overdo it here. Shirley got arms free, which kept it alive for Adelaide. Off a step, Thompson. Not good enough.
He had short options. Well, I've noticed a match-up here that I think is going to work for the Bombers today, and that's Adam McPhee playing across half forward. He's got Nathan Bock, who provides great run normally. McPhee leading really hard out of the forward 50. Here he is again. Laterally, he might get on the end of this.
It'll work because they've got Ryder up forward as well.
Well, I think there's as much about Nathan Bock as it is about Adam McPhee at the moment. Just making sure that he doesn't provide that run that he normally does.
Welsh looking for Ryder. Good vertical leap, and what you need is a crummer. And there was one there in Lovett. Into the pocket go the Bombers.
Oh, great play.
Massey with confidence. Straight at the football to McLeod.
Look at the half-forward line here.
And have a look at the space afforded. Simon Goodwin, an All-Australian, 30 metres in the clear, kicks to the danger zone. They should have done better with that, Adelaide. No crummer.
Mel Michael did very well then, under pressure.
Player coming off the bench.
Did well, Van Berlo.
I think that's one of the danger areas of modern football. Every time the ball's kicked in the area in front of the bench, you just don't know who's coming.
Well, they time it now, don't they? They try and time their run. Here's Welsh.
Another good kick.
Gee, had plenty of it, Monfries. Here's McPhee, the man Liam was talking about. He's holding the ball.
Gee, I tell you what, I thought Brent Stanton had to put his head over the ball and go hard at that contest. Everybody else was doing it. And well, I'm not a bit harsh, but you got to do it. Your time comes, you got to put your hand up.
Well, Dowdy went much harder, it was obvious, and it could hurt him on the turnover here.
Van Berlo gets it from Riley, kicks to the goal square. Stevens is target on Lovett Murray again, and Lovett Murray in best position.
Developed into a pretty important player for the Bombers, Lovett Murray. In the last 18 months, I reckon. He was in and out of the side up until then.
Stanton coming from the ground, Tony.
Well, I thought he had to go. Look, that might be just a rotation, but I thought he had to put his head, and he's going straight to the phone. And I think he's being told you're going to put your hand up when it's time to put your head over the ball.
I think you spotted it, mate. Here's Leroy Jetta getting it from Slattery now. The kick skews off the side of the boot. Megan's just on the ground, and he's still searching for his first kick. As we'll go back and have a look at Stanton, Tony.
Well, that wasn't good enough. He had a look around before that, and he's just got off the phone to the coach. No doubt the coach is telling him. And well done to the coach. You've got to make players aware of how hard you have to go attack the ball at times.
Well, you've got to take your body through the line of the ball, and that's what Dowdy did, and that's what Stanton didn't do. He waited for it to bounce.
Lonergan in two minds. Watson likes to use the hands. Oh, that's clever from Hill.
Was it ever?
Welsh back to Hill. Oh, he's tried it again.
It's probably cut your losses.
The idea was right.
It was right, but he needed to grab it the second time. Matty Lloyd off. Laycock back on here for the Bombers. Both sides ringing the changes at the minute.
Plenty happening on the Essendon bench. Already a problem with Courtney Dempsey. Ramanaskas got about a couple.
Right. Good decision.
They're at the contest, aren't they, the Crows at the moment?
Well, they are. They're just running and using the ball well from half-back. This sort of stuff. It's a good tackle.
There's a lot of share going on from half-back, isn't there?
Is there ever?
They go forward again. Moran went early. Far too early. Ball at ground level, still alive. Lovett Murray wants a rush behind. He gets it.
Well, you have a look at the good sides in the competition are all throwing the ball around by hand. Hawthorn, Geelong, we can see Moran there go for that mark. That's play on. Had his eyes up for the ball, even though he went a little bit early.
So Stanton's got the message. He's just got back on the ground. So he wasn't off for long.
Edwards to Van Berlo.
1-2 here.
Yep. Yeah. From Shirley, John Cock the target. Play on. There's always been a player out to the right for Adelaide. Symes again. Over the top. This time Moran can finish off. Adelaide get their third, and they're getting some ascendancy.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're just, as you say, they're being able to open up the other side of the ground where the play's on this side. John Cock on Fletcher is a good move. I like it because it's making Fletcher run, and he doesn't like doing that. He's much preferred the ball banged on his head. Moran's got involved again, but the John Cock move forward's working. And I like the play-on factor of Adelaide at the minute. I mean, they really are looking to include everybody. And what it does is it just makes their forwards move first. And Moran, he's been a real revelation since he's come into this side.
So the former Queenslander kicking the goal. So Essendon got the first. Adelaide have the next three. And some concern there for their skipper, Matty Lloyd. Some running repairs.
The leading possession winner too, Andrew Welsh on the bench. He's had 7 touches for the Bombers.
Van Berlo continuing his form. He's had 9. Away go Essendon now. Stanton. Low ball, too low for everybody. Laycock tries to run onto it, but he's beaten to it by Massey. And again, the Crows spread. That kick not good enough, though.
Good hands.
He gets a free kick anyway. Advantage to Adelaide. Massey kept going. Doughty.
That's a good hit up.
Very rarely wastes the football.
Well, again, it's got Gill involved, and he's got Michael on the lead, outside forward 50. He loves to stay deep, we know that.
1-on-1, Moran goes back. He's going to get a kind bounce here. Again, the pressure on Lovett Murray on the last line. He's had his work cut out today so far.
9 handball receives more, Adelaide Crows and Essendon. It just shows they're running harder, they're using each other up. And they got to this lead because of that reason.
As I mentioned earlier, once you play on, it immediately forces everyone else to move.
Stanton kicks straight into Riley on the mark. Now he wobbles it forward. He's trying to get to Dangerfield, but standing in the way, Slattery.
And the two most experienced defenders for the Bombers, Fletcher and Mel Michael, love nothing better when a team is slow into their forward line and they bang it in high. They'll just pick you off all day.
Hill flicks it over the back. Peverill first to it. Slattery applies the tackle to Dangerfield. Well, that'll be classed as a possession.
Did really well.
Did well, didn't he?
Yeah, to keep it going. Riley, back to McKay. Thompson too slow. Incorrect disposal, advantage pay. Away go Essendon on the rebound. There's Megan.
Here's McPhee.
He's going to get it back. Got it from Peverill. Perhaps one too many here. Dyson's run into a brick wall. Essendon get a second chance through Peverill. Good pressure from the Crows, though.
Lovett's out wide.
He's going to get it from Lovett Murray. He's going to back himself to 55. Puts it in front of Laycock. Good vision, good spot up. Laycock now has to reward all that hard work with a goal.
Sure, you take it all the way back to the half-forward flank. That was Scott Thompson, and the tackle was Andrew Lovett. He forced the turnover there on Thompson. Ended up getting on the end of it in the middle of the ground and kicked the ball to Laycock. That's what I call two-way footy. That was fantastic.
Well, it's probably the only way they're going to get their goals. They need some individual brilliance because they're not cohesive as a unit at the moment. But well done, Andrew Lovett. And he's getting some treatment out in the outer flank too, so we'll have to watch that.
Laycock has let the team down. In fact, he hasn't even scored. Now, that ball hasn't made the line, and Laycock's kicked it from, say, 35, 37 metres out, and it stayed in play.
That is incredible.
That's... I'm flabbergasted.
He's kicked it off his shin.
But Essendon still with another chance. Dyson managed to get it forward. Doughty in the way.
Here we go again with hands.
Douglas.
Good kick.
Good vision out in front of Campbell. They've got a lot of confidence coming out of that back half, as we know. Moran enjoying his time. Nash with the spoil. Ball stays in play. He follows it up. Gives it back to Peverill, having a busy couple of minutes. Michael. Dyson. Sharing with Stanton. This is promising. Just hesitated, though. Fletcher trying to straighten them up through the middle. Love it. Hard man to tackle. Flips it over the top to McPhee. It's a good kick. Now he's got a runner in Stanton. He decides that Ramanaskas one-on-one's an option. Massey with the spoil. Moran gave it up. Ramanaskas pinches it, kicks to the goal square. Monfries needs a kind bounce. McLeod wants nothing to do with it. 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Adelaide have a 15-point lead.
I think the difference between handball with both sides is that Adelaide handball forward to get momentum forward. Essendon at the moment handball just to play on and put their teammates under pressure.
Can they get something in the final seconds? Ryder manages to get in the way, but he's going back to Lovett. He's not aware that there's a couple of seconds to go. They need a mark. They won't get it. Rutten standing in the way. And a polished performance by the Adelaide Crows has given Matthew Lloyd in game number 250 plenty to think about. Quarter time here at the Telstra Dome. Adelaide lead by 14 points. Thanks, Rowan. So the Bombers down to 21 early. As we've seen a few times this season, you can't afford to be at 20 by half-time. You need some rotations as the game goes on.
Well, you certainly do. The games become so fast, but they need to get Lloyd involved in the game. Just one possession in the first quarter, Shorey. But as I say, I'm just loving the use of hands by Adelaide at the moment. They've been so good around the stoppages. And when they're hitting up targets inside 50, they look very dangerous.
I still think that Adelaide Crows have probably got their best 6 defenders back together, all playing, because remember, Rutten was injured early in the year, Bassett missed games, now they're all there, they love helping out, and they have identified Matty Lloyd as a danger player.
At the moment, Goodwin's back there as well, so we're back with the action. Second term, 14 points is the margin at the moment, and the first clearance for the quarter will go to Adelaide. Thompson Firing it forward. Peverill to run onto it, and he's caught high. Peverill's trying to get his team into it.
Well, he's playing on Tyson Edwards this afternoon. Edwards has had 6, Peverill's had 9, so he's had a pretty reasonable first quarter.
What's it for?
Everybody thought it was head high to Peverill, but something must have happened before this.
Nothing.
Is it holding for Stevens?
Against...
Gee, that was clever by John Cock. 2, 3 leads you talk about. This is why it's working well for Adelaide.
Yes.
Fletcher wants the ball banged in long. That was going to be his only get-out option, was the long kick to the goal square. Fletcher was ready for that. So John Cock just darted into some space in the pocket. Very, very clever play.
And you know what happens when John Cock goes up the ground? Simon Goodwin goes and plays on Fletcher. They just identified you don't want to play big body players against Simon Fletcher unless they're massive and very talented.
That's 20 seconds gone, Graham.
So John Cock, won in the first term, looking for number 2, but importantly for the Crows to get the margin to 20 points. Looks pretty good off the boot, but he's just pushed it right.
Didn't make the distance.
And again, another player kicking from 40 metres hasn't made the distance. It's something I just don't understand.
I've got to go down to Rowan Smith and ask the question, Smithy. Is there some sort of a breeze that sprung up in here?
Oh, you are.
Because the roof is shut and there's not absolutely a breath of wind here in Telstra Dome. So I'm not too sure why the players can't make the distance, mate.
I'm looking for an excuse for them.
So Fletcher to bring it back in. That's a beautiful long kick. Ryder almost with a big spectacular mark. Couldn't take it. Love it. Love it. Murray in under that as well.
I'm just thinking if I played in the modern era here that my kicking wouldn't be as much maligned as it. No?
No, it would, Tony. Well, unless there's a jam tin they're moving from out there.
Thanks a lot for that.
I'm just joking.
Bit of support.
It's a hard man. And we've got an Essendon free kick, and the crowd pretty appreciative of that as Michael breaks for Watson. Turns, nothing to go to. Welsh. This is the difference, I guess, between the two sides. McPhee the target.
Oh, it's an advantage here too.
Won the free kick. Can he get it going? He's tight in the pocket. He heads to the danger zone. Riders at the back again. Massey the big spoil. Here comes Big Laycock. Got to be careful. Can't be clumsy. Wants a free kick. He may get it.
Drag it in.
Yeah, benefit of the doubt. We'll have a ball up 30 metres from goal.
It's amazing, that interpretation. Whenever you get within 30 metres of goal, it sort of goes out the window. Might be crowd pressure.
They need to just be able to extricate the ball into some space here, the Bombers.
Now, Hill tried to put it back into some space, but...
Another clearance to Adelaide.
Goodwin got there first, and he gave it off to Symes. Clearing kick, but it's 2-on-1 Essendon.
Big
Stanton.
Ball. Well done.
That's better. And he drives it straight back where it came from. Ryder the target again. Here's some numbers for Essendon. Oh, Ryder and Roy getting each other's way. And Bock decides.
And Bassett's gone down. You can just see Bassett at the right-hand corner. He got a corky in the hip, and he has gone courageous. There he is with the trailer. You'll see him go back here, and Ryder puts the knee right in the Bassett's hip.
What's happening here, though?
Oh, they didn't talk.
Well, Ryder was pushing. He was trying to fend Matty Lloyd off.
And Bassett's gone into this huddle.
And
great photo of the huddle there.
He's not in good nick at the moment, Bassett.
Great picture of the huddle.
Thompson receives from the kick-in. He wants Symes. He's under all sorts of pressure. Brad Symes holding the ball.
That's where the rule's tough. You've got to be so clean at ground level, because the players are so good now at just being able to just push it back in under you and then sit on you, basically. They outnumber you 3-1.
He's been exciting, Paddy Ryder, hasn't he?
He has got so much upside in him as a player, Paddy Ryder.
It's a nice take from Laycock. Moves it quickly. Watson on the left boot. Not enough penetration with the kick. Adelaide move it quickly. John Cock.
Dustin Fletcher, bad luck there. He left his man, tried to intercept there. He read the play beautifully.
Look where he is.
How far he's up the ground.
That's a win for Adelaide.
Unless he kicks a goal.
John Cock hits it long. Floating in front, Gill.
Again took the body. Again took the body well, Adelaide.
It was Dowdy on that occasion.
Gee, they do that well, the Crows. They just refuse to cough the ball up. And that's drilled into young players at AFL clubs. No point at spilling out. We have a look at the free kick. Yeah, it's probably there.
Dowdy again. Douglas. Don't normally see him flying for them overhead.
Good hands, Nash.
Dyson got it from him. The forward handball. Gee, not much room for Dyson to get through there, but he managed to. And this could go through. It's still going in the right direction. And another rush behind. Good break from half-back from Ricky Dyson. Quick play, Adelaide. Doughty. A couple of options.
10 possessions now, Doughty.
Yeah, he took the right one, went longer.
A bit one-handed there.
Yeah, Douglas, casual. He's going to take on and beat Welsh. Scrubber kick, still alive though, Adelaide.
Oh, well
Nick
picked up.
Gill, handball forward. John Cock couldn't get it. And Stanton will clear for Essendon.
Lovett's out in the wing.
And he's got plenty of space. Peverill spots him. And away goes Andrew Lovett. McPhee the target once again. Probably should have done more with that Essendon there. McPhee paddles it back. Rutten, first to it for Adelaide.
Here they go again, though.
Good one off half back. Gets under it a bit. Stevens or Gill flying over the top. Here's McLeod crumbing front and square. Gets boot to ball. No one in the goal square. Which way will it bounce? It's bouncing for the Crows, but not bouncing fast enough. Lovett Murray back. Gee, it's been a bit of pace in this game in the last 5 minutes. Up and back, up and back.
Yeah, Brent Stanton, gee, I tell you what, he gets some cheap stats in defence. He's not penetrating. He's got leg speed. They need him to get through the forward 50, not play out of the back 50.
Love it. Only really one option, and that was to the wing to Peverill. And he's doing well, Damien Peverill. Onto the boots, a good pass to Lloyd, and that's got Matthew Lloyd into the game. Plays on quickly. 55 metres out, hits it long to the square. Ryder's got a couple to beat. Massey, a la Bassett.
Courageous.
Let's get down to Rowan Smith. I see Fletcher off the ground for a spell. Smithy?
No, Piggers, is actually looks like he's grabbing his right groin, so
He's going in.
might be a little bit unfortunate. He's gone down with the doctors and physios now, so but he was holding his right groin, so it doesn't look too good for Dustin.
Tell you what, did you talk about bringing the ball in effectively from the back line? They've got it there without an Essendon player anywhere near anyone. The zone just broke down then, the Bombers.
Well, they had one less with Dustin Fletcher off, whether someone could work into the area.
Sure, that's tackling, that's gone.
Leroy Jetters kept him in the game, though, with a great tackle on Bott. So they didn't give up on the contest there, the Bombers.
They did well because there was some sort of a structure problem there on the kick-in. Crows couldn't believe their luck. They got it to nearly the centre wing with anyone going near them.
Dyson with the kick. Ryder! Couldn't get it. He wants to take a big hanger today.
Does he what?
He's had 3 leaps already. There's a bit of push and shove back behind play. Advantage free kick to Adelaide. It's Ryder and Massey who are enjoying each other's company. And Adelaide on the switch, Moran. Bock pushes it out in front of Stevens. Lovett Murray did well there, just got rid of him.
Good
the handball to Lovett.
Take him on.
Yeah, which he does well. He's listening, Tony. Steps around Moran, kicks into the pocket. Essendon with a real show here. Stanton.
He's got to kick this.
He's got a player longer. It's Lloyd. He waits. He's infringed. It was always going to happen.
Well, I just said about Brent Stanton that it's so easy to get an easy kick in defence, but I think Essendon, there's a lot more upside to Essendon at the moment. They've probably got more players down, but they're only, 12 points behind, and they've got to start to get some flow from midfield. That's what Brent Stanton has to do. Get inside 50, kick a goal yourself, or set it up with an assist to this man who, well, probably kicks him a little bit better.
Well, they've actually had more inside 50s, Essendon. 20 to 18. Normally tells a tale.
He's been in good touch, Matthew Lloyd. 15 goals in the last 3 weeks, including a bag of 8 at the MCG. And in game 250, he gets the Bombers back to within 1 goal.
He just doesn't miss, Matthew Lloyd. We said before today he was coming in with 54 goals, 15. He's a magnificent finisher. Really good team goal for the Bombers. Lovett involved again. Loving his run on the centre wing. Good one there. He just took his eyes off the ball. He needed to turn his body at the last moment. Difficult to do when you've got the big knee of Matthew Lloyd about to hit you in the ribs. But, well, they're actually working pretty well here, the Bombers. And they'll need to do something about Lovett. To me, he could be the game breaker here for the Bombers.
I think that's a good point you bring up, because I think Stanton, Lovett, those types of players can break the lines. Adelaide have got the same sort of midfielders. You know, they're not real quick, but they're real workmanlike and good at contested balls. So they are the game breakers, those types of players for Essendon.
Essendon have an issue at the moment, though, with Dempsey out for the game, and now with Fletcher in the room. So at the moment, only 2 on the bench, but they're getting possession through Nash. You got it from Peveril. Monfrey's had to stand and wait from it. The big spoil. It sits for the Bombers. Magan went without it. Moran caught.
Good pressure by Essendon, though.
They're at it. They're at the contest.
The Crows have fumbled a few times the last couple.
The intensity's there. Dyson wants to move it quickly.
With some space.
It's got to beat a couple.
Well done.
Oh, good.
He's a quality fullback.
He was out position there, wasn't he, Liam? You called it. You thought Lloydie had the best position.
Well, it wasn't a great kick. It was sort of to the defensive side more so than the attacking side. Need to just kick it to a bit of space.
Riley just chipping over the top. Shirley on the end of it, and his handball to Van Berlo.
Needs a shepherd.
Campbell coming back in board. Shirley kept going, but they're not clean as yet. They're not clear. Finally, his kick, a percentage kick, really, wasn't it? Let's just get it forward and get it out of where I'm at.
Well, a couple of their high-quality players not getting a lot of the footy at the moment. McLeod's had 6 touches, and Edwards hasn't been doing a lot. He only had 6 as well. They haven't been typical. Here he is again.
Couldn't break through. Van Berlo squeezes the handball out. Good kick right to the square, and we'll have a rush behind. Kick came from Thompson. He gets plenty on the ball, but a margin is now 7 points, almost halfway through this first term. There's a good sign, a second term, I should say, a good sign for Bomber supporters. Fletcher back out on the ground. Peveril, 14 disposals in the first half. Dyson.
Oh, the key point there is Edwards has had 6. So
Just a choice by Dyson there. Laycock had got rid of his opponent, and he went longer.
It's one of the areas Ricky Dyson is normally a very penetrating kick, but just his decision-making process. I think Tyson Edwards should go and play out of the goal square with Peveril.
Well,
just take him down there deep, and we know he can mark above his head fairly well. There he's going for the ruck.
yeah, I'm not big on that, sure, I have to admit. I think players as good as Tyson Edwards and McLeod, I reckon, get them around the footy, and you just got to back their ability to beat their run-with player.
Yeah.
I know he's playing well, Peveril, but you got to hurt him somehow, and you got to hurt him in an area that he's comfortable. I reckon taking him out of there, Matty Knights would just go big, big tick.
Well, I don't know. I think you play Peveril at full back, and you'd be saying he's not out. What a great pass. Hill's gone to full forward.
Lloyd had moved up the ground, so he was the first target, and then the second to Hill.
Well, we'll beg to differ on that one, but, gee, that was a beautiful kick from midfield.
Now, he is a good kick. Mind you, you want to put the kiss of death on someone.
Yeah.
He's kicked 17-16 for the season.
Got a history of it.
That's 50-50 nearly.
Not bad from outside 50. David Hill, wonderful finish.
Good call, Liam.
Well, occasionally you've got to get one right, Shorey. I've been saying it all year. And big Hill, a good ball movement. And we can see here the Bombers are held up a bit. They got the loose play. It was a good little chip kick there. And Lloyd straight on his bike. See how he turns around. Immediately, Hill knows to go. You take front position. A guy who is a wonderful finisher, no doubt about that. And that is a good goal. And this game is actually well and truly swinging towards Essendon at the moment.
Margin was 14 points at quarter time. It's back to 1. Let's go down to Rowan.
Well, boys, Damien Peveril actually moved on to Nathan Van Berlo just in that quarter then. Van Berlo's just come to the bench, so Peveril's just laying on here on the halfback flank just by himself, just about to pick up Brent Riley.
Which means Edwards and Welsh will be opposed to each other, you'd think.
Just the 2 goals in the quarter, both to the Bombers.
Fair tackle. Good footy. That's it, straight up. Thank you. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks,
We'll go again for a bounce. Just Essendon's side of the centre circle.
Pushed him out. Must go to the ball, Brady. Just pushing him out first.
That's the second time Brad Moran's given a free kick with his hands in the back to Laycock.
And Laycock doing the right thing, just shorting it off. Welsh into the pocket. Is it got enough? It has.
He's working
Stanton.
hard, Stanton.
Well, he's doing it the right end, though, Liam. That's what he's got to do. And normally he's a fairly good kick. But, gee, I tell you what, Adelaide Crows aren't putting a lot of time into him. I think he's a very dangerous player.
Well, he's had 4 inside 50s. Lovett's had 5.
Big kick here, though. This will put the Bombers back in front. They kicked the first goal of the afternoon, and that's never going to be a goal. And he's just managed to squeeze it in for a behind. Scores level as Courtney Dempsey looks on.
And huddling again here, the Crows.
Bassett copped the heavy knock in the hip, but moving freely now.
Oh,
Maxi almost expected the free kick there, didn't he?
he's just saying the umpire chopped me arms. What's going on? Where's that rule gone?
Here we go. I don't think he did, actually. He just put his arms down waiting for it. But anyway, Laycock was looking for Peveril at the knock. Good work by Welsh, just hitting it forward. Just keeping it going in the right direction.
They need a spark, Adelaide Crows. I'm trying to look at, as I said, all their midfielders haven't got a lot of leg speed. It's just hard goers.
There's young McKay. He's not going far. He's not going past Jobe Watson. And you get the feeling this next couple of minutes very important for the Adelaide Crows. Essendon have got the ascendancy, not giving them any room. A very important time between now and half-time. Dangerfield couldn't get free. Lonergan couldn't do it either. Watson. No one can get a free handball here. Look at the attack on the ball by Lovett and a good tackle by Symes.
One of the areas that the Crows were so good in the first quarter was the clearances. 13-7 in the first quarter. It's been 4-3 the Bombers in this second quarter, so it's an area they've tightened right up. I reckon it would have been a focus from Matthew Knights at quarter time.
Adelaide win this one. Doughty throws it on the boot. Goodwin. Hit and hope, really. Gee, Lovett Murray got a very unkind bounce. Falls back for Stevens and Slattery dives on top of him. It's a real tight game at the moment. Not just on the scoreboard because it's level. Very hard for players to get free. Shirley comes back on the ground into the picture for Adelaide. And he is their #1 stopper. Here's Thompson.
Well played, Thompson.
Kept moving through. Forces the ball forward into the 50. Gill over the top. Goodwin. Two players on top of him. He gets one in the back from Slattery. He'll take a shot at goal and perhaps put Adelaide back in front.
Looks like, is that Laycock is down in the hands of the trainer, and a 50-metre penalty, so it's a certain goal. That is the last thing you want when you've worked your way back in the game. He dropped well, didn't he? Simon Goodwin dropped at the contest with his knees and nearly made it impossible for the tackler not to push him back. But he's going to kick from 40 metres out. Now he's kicking right on the goal line.
One against the flow of play for the Adelaide Crows. The Bomber fans don't like it, but Adelaide now lead by a goal.
That goal was as a result, basically, of a terrific clearance from Scott Thompson. Sometimes you can't get that pretty clearance. You know, the one that where you handle out in space, and we have a look at the free kick. Oh, he threw himself forward.
Did he what? He was smart.
He dived. But if you go all the way back to the centre wing, it was just a contest. Basically, he tapped it forward into a little bit of space and then threw it on his boot. And sometimes that's the best thing you can do at a clearance. Just get it forward, just pass it on, get it into the forward line. And he reacted very quickly, Simon Goodwin. Ended up getting the free kick.
Jason Laycock to the bench. It was in a spot of bother, and here's the reason why.
Have a look at this. He's fell on his ankle there. Going down hard.
Yeah.
No, boys, it's actually his back, so he's more
Winded
worried about
himself.
his back. Yeah, so he's landed on his back. He's just lying on the floor now.
Doing some hardcore stretching. Back with the action.
this.
Here's the clearance for Adelaide. They got the last goal, courtesy of 50. This time, Riley puts it long. Crummer needed. Nick Gill going back to help out. Plenty of players around the ball, and we'll have a ball up directly in front of Adelaide goal as Jason Laycock getting some attention from Dr. Reid. So Marich up against Hill. Hill wins it.
Yeah, off the ball.
It wasn't the controlling umpire, it was the umpire in the middle of the ground, Tony.
Yeah, it was about 2 metres behind the contest, and I'm not sure. I thought it might have been Lonergan, might have been holding the jumper on Scotty Thompson. Peveril's on the mark. That's what normally taggers do. If you give the free kick away, you let someone else man the mark, and it looks like his fault.
You run away.
Well, since I've said that the Bombers have had a good quarter around the stoppages, they've got beaten out of the centre square, they got beaten at the centre wing, they got their last goal, and now this is the direct result of a bit of worry at the clearance, really, if you're doing that, if you're holding on.
He's an outstanding player. He's coming up for disposal, number 15 already, and he's coming up for a goal. He's put it straight through, and all of a sudden Adelaide get that buffer of 2 goals back.
Well, Scotty Thompson, hasn't he turned into a star of the competition in midfield? As we know, discarded. Went back home. But let's have a look at the contest, see what happens here.
It is
Peveril.
Peveril.
Yeah, he's got the jump. Was Peveril, so he did take blame for what happened. But the umpire saw the jumper come away from the body, and as soon as that happens, I don't know, that positioning by Peveril playing straight on a man, maybe give him a metre, and if he tries to run, you just block him, but it's so hard to watch where he's going to go, left or right.
Thompson, the goal kicker, Adelaide out to 12.
They need to be good here, the Bombers. The last centre clearance was a bit easy for the Crows. And
Now
they go again.
Hill just flipped it straight onto the chest of Tyson Edwards.
Couldn't have asked for any better, really.
And McKay with the breaking kick inside the forward 50. Thompson clever again.
Man.
Stanton gets the bounce. Essendon to clear. Dyson to Ramanaskas. In turn, Stanton, but they're just a bit untidy there. 2 handballs missing the target.
Well, the trend is that Adelaide can't take a mark inside their 50. Essendon probably aren't getting enough chances to do it, and they've got 2 goals from free kicks against the flow in the last 5 minutes.
That's exactly right.
Edwards getting involved too in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Thompson laid it onto the chest of Gill. And he plays on quickly. Kicks it long now. Lovett Murray floats into the right spot. Perfectly judged by Nathan Lovett Murray, and he's going to kick it back the other side.
Neil Craig will pull his hair out with that sort of stuff. We saw how Gill got it on the chest on the lead. You really shouldn't have kicked it, banged it long there. The numbers weren't with Adelaide. Very easy to come off your man and defend.
Just that thing about, you say, Edwards. I thought Peveril was playing on Edwards there for a fair while. I think they've swapped over Lonergan on. I don't know why that would happen. You might be right now that he's gone in midfield against Lonergan. This, just his seniority, he's telling at the moment his maturity.
Well, we saw Peveril. He's definitely gone to Thompson.
Ryder with the kick for Essendon. Long, McPhee made very good position, judged it the best.
Empty forward line here too. Long to Hill is the option.
Heads to the danger zone, and Matthew Lloyd knew it was going there, knew exactly what to do.
In fact, that was who it was. Can't believe I got Lloydie and Hill wrong, but the long option was there. They opened it out a little bit. And Matthew Lloyd, gee, he loves to mark him in the corridor.
That's fine, Liam. They've both captained the club. They've both kicked a goal this quarter.
They're both
Jumper
big,
number
strong
18,
men.
19, both big biceps. I mean, come on.
No, Lloydie's got the biggest biceps I've ever seen. Look at those big puppies.
Oh.
He needs to kick this goal. I am joking, Shorey. He's a beautiful kick, we know that.
This for his second of the term. And no doubt about it, Matthew Lloyd. He kicks 2, margin back to 1.
Well, just the way this game's being played, I would think that in general football terms, the way that Essendon are doing it is a lot better. I think their ball movement at the moment is better. Adelaide, they are just working as hard as they can to get clearances, and they got those 2, and they got 2 free kicks, and they are finding it hard to find a target inside 50. Well, if Matty Lloyd wants to kick from 30 metres out straight in front, as you said, Liam, he does not miss at all. And they pushed him deep now, so he's a real danger coming out of the goal square.
1 goal the margin. Good and bad, I guess, for Essendon. They've got 4 goals out of their big men. 2 to Lloyd, 1 to Hill, 1 to Ryder. They need a crummer to get involved and get some of their faster players through the midfield to start kicking some goals, and they can win the game.
Maybe Leroy Jetta.
Yep. Here's Hill, searching handball forward. Adelaide with numbers, though. And again, quick hands. This time Symes ends up with it. Thompson racking up disposals. Just tumbled the kick on the 10 there. Stanton should get a free kick in the back, and he will.
Brent Riley's been out of footy for a while. He looks a bit rusty at the moment. He's one of their really good players. And he's up and going.
Measured pass is a good one to McPhee.
This man is really trouble for Adelaide, just the way he's leading at the ball carrier. Doesn't help when you kick the ball like that, though.
No, just let himself down there. Still, they might get away with it here. Riley, though, first to it for Adelaide. Shirley involved, out to Edwards.
Running again by Gill.
Chip over the top to Gill. He's going to play on. Moran cuts back to the middle. Dangerfield is there. But cutting in front of Dangerfield was the skipper.
See, it was a better kick, though. It was a better kick than the long bomb.
Yeah.
He actually kept it low to a running player. Actually, the kick was on for Dangerfield. I think
Yeah, it was,
right.
I think. So Goodwin, who had a gimme not too long ago. All the big names coming to the fore here. Goodwin, Thompson, Lloyd, they're all getting involved in the goal-kicking list. And this, again, to push Adelaide back out to that buffer of 2 goals.
Although,
Yep, he's got it. Two to Goodwin.
he's got 2. And Simon Goodwin, I like the way they worked the ball there, though. Again, that was the hands from half-back that got on the end of that. A good kick by Gill. Because if Goodwin hadn't marked it, you see Dangerfield in front of his opponent there. And that's a good finish, important finish. They've got the margin back out to around what it's been most of the game so far. It's 14 points at quarter time. Goodwin needs to kick some goals because they haven't got the marking power up there that the Bombers have got.
It's been an illustrious career for Simon Goodwin. Many awards, best and fairest All-Australians, and he's heading for a leading goal kicker award.
I don't think Essendon's got enough tag. There's Peveril and Lonergan. They've got Goodwin, Edwards we just spoke about. Just a number of players who are getting under the guard at the moment.
Riley with the clearance. Here's the goal kicker. Lovely pick-up from Goodwin. Forced to give it quickly. Nash got involved. Watson, so good in close. Here's Peveril on the burst. Couple of bounces. Player outside of him. Jetta over the top. Nash kept going. Tough kick from there, right to the goal line, though. Gee, that would have been one of the goals of the year when it comes to hard running and teamwork.
Sure, excuse me, I mentioned that the clearance count. It's 5-1 out of the centre this quarter to Adelaide.
Yeah.
They need to do something there. It was 3-1 in the first quarter, so it's 8-2 out of the centre square. They need to get their structures right in there because Adelaide loves setting it up from the centre bounces.
Well done, Stanton. Left his man.
He got the spoil, but unfortunately, Adelaide have won out through numbers.
Good
Van
play.
Berlo searching along the line with that handball. Bock should give it off, decides to go by himself. 53 metres from goal, heads to the goal square. Moran the target. Michael likes that situation.
Yeah, well called, Matty. You don't want to kick the ball as high as he did then. He had to try and kick it out further to his advantage to Moran. And Mel Michael, as you said, he eats those sort of one-on-one contests.
Romanescus, the poor kick in, tumbled on the end. Stevens in the way, short pass. Well,
Pickup.
Dangerfield, lovely pickup. Brings Edwards into the game. Likewise, Douglas, and he fumbles it.
He's had a shock at Douglas. He's got back into it, though.
He's pinched it off his own teammate and kicked it off the side of his boot.
Oh.
And Dangerfield up quickly after he dropped the mark, not going anywhere. He's finding out what it's like to play at this level.
Yeah, but that second effort.
Good play, wasn't it?
Enough to tell you that the kid's got some ability. He's come out on the road, picked up a half volley, then followed his ball around and actually all he did was wrong there was basically drop the mark.
Yep.
But his second effort was great.
Bounced up pretty quick. So Adelaide pressing here. They lead by 12 points. Van Berlo, he throws it on the boot and he'll get it behind, but he's just racking up disposal. Scott Thompson, 19 by half-time, and Van Berlo heading for another 40 game.
Yes, I'm sure Paddy Dangerfield would be happy to be playing at the Telstra Dome today. The other option was probably up at Shepparton against the Murray Bushrangers or somewhere in the TAC Cup. So
With an orange ball in the snow. Here's Slattery. Oh, he's going to back himself to beat everyone.
went a long way.
He did.
Didn't bounce it, but Lovett. He's been clever, Lovett.
That's good.
And Hill gets it from Watson. That's not clever from Nathan Lovett-Murray. That's good support, though, from Dyson. Still going, Essendon. Big David Hill. Long ball again. Laycock making position. Hard to beat one-on-one,
Well done,
Bassett. Massey turned around and Laycock went bang!
The umpire said he handball. Well done to Bassett. He was out position. Laycock had to make a lot more of this contest. Have a look at this. Nearly a free kick over the shoulder anyway.
It probably was to Bassett, wasn't it?
Out position and outsized.
Oh, he did well.
So important here. It's a 13-point game. We've just got over a minute in this second quarter to go. It's been a very even second quarter. Essendon.
See the structures here. See where the Adelaide players are setting up forward of the stoppage. That's a good move by Lovett. So they like to hit, obviously, defensively. You can see them pointing the instructions. This ball will go forward, and the Crows will outnumber Essendon unless they can get a run at it.
Watson off with the blood rule.
All right, goes out the back and they outnumber it.
Edwards with the clearance.
Still the same result. Another
Choice.
clearance to Adelaide.
Yep. Bock. That pass has put his teammate under pressure. It was Campbell. Slattery with him. Lloyd backpedaling. Did well to give it to McPhee. Now his kick.
Dangerous kick.
Kicked badly all day, McPhee, really.
Yeah, he
Low
has.
percentage too.
Oh.
Oops. Nathan Bock handballs to himself. Gets himself 2 possessions.
Look at here, Riley. Let him run.
Thinks about Gill. Didn't use him.
Kick.
To the leading player. Dangerfield it is. So he's coming out of the square, Liam, just like you said.
Well, he's got enormous pace. That's the thing. And he's worked really hard. And sometimes you work hard, you're going to get some results. But good kick it was to Riley, who also used it well. And he needs to go back now. The kid has got the cricket bowler's run up. He's marked it. He's 18. He's at school. It won't be quite the blustery wind that he'd be used to.
Very exciting, though, isn't it?
He's had 3 handballs. This, his first kick. Will he join the club? On the siren. First kick in AFL footy. It was never in doubt. He just goes, bang, this is what I'm born to do, and don't his teammates love it? An important kick for Patrick Dangerfield in his long career, if it's to be, but an important kick for the Adelaide Crows right on half-time. Liam, they've got the ascendancy back. They lead by 19.
They've got the momentum, and you can see it. I don't know why they're getting involved in that, the Bombers. They need to get off, regroup. Exactly. They've coughed up a couple late in the quarter. Disappointing.
That man McPhee, he's been one of the culprits. He's been pretty good, but he's turned it over 2 or 3 times.
Very, very impressive end of that quarter by Adelaide. Mind you, if you're going to have a bit of a brawl, you might as well do it when you can't give away a free kick.
Essendon threw some questions at the Adelaide Crows, but towards the end of that second quarter, they had all the answers and they go in pretty pumped. Half-time here at the Telstra Dome, Adelaide up by 19 points.
Well, if they're going to win the game here, the Bombers, they need to restructure in here. They need to change their centre square setup, and they need to get very, very busy around the stoppages.
50 plays 31. We're underway for the second half, and Marich, took it too easy. I think he just dropped it when it fell into his hands. Shirley paddles it forward. Van Berlo swamped. Watson one tackler, Lonergan the other.
Like a cake of soap.
So he gets a chance to redeem himself. Ivan Marich, he's up against Hill for the secondary bounce. So this time Hill wins it. Thompson went without it. Here's Watson.
Good hands.
Great handball.
Beautiful handball to Peveril. Gee, Nash got an unkind bounce. Douglas, Peveril helping out again.
Well done, Peveril.
I like this game. Saw him a couple of weeks ago. He's very good as well.
Not a great kick, though.
Massey first back, but beaten to it by Laycock. In turn, he's beaten to it by Bock. And that's that Adelaide defence that we talk about. The belief in each other to help out. And the switcher play to Symes.
Don't they mop up well?
They've got the out here, which is Edwards with some space.
He's going to cut back in the middle. Bassett. Symes kept running. And the kick.
Sure, that was a great option, really. Should have
That's
used
the shorter one.
one.
Yep.
Yep.
Dyson back first for Essendon. Give on the up.
Well, when they've used the presenting player that's the shorter option, they've looked far more dangerous when they've banged it in long.
Yep. Here's Lovett. Got a couple to beat. Watson.
That's a throw.
Just sort of fished it out, didn't he? Didn't put any bait on the hook. Pinched by Edwards. Now a chance. Gill inside his forward 50 with a mark. Where to from here? Short, lead into the pocket. Goodwin. Slattery into his back, and the mark was paid anyway.
That's the sort of stuff, though, Shorey. Again, Gill on the lead's got too much pace for Michael. Goodwin out of the goal square, kept it low.
Plays on quickly. Simon Goodwin looking for number 3 and looking to get some more control of this game. He's done exactly that.
Well, we said just before half-time that a number of players, Tyson Edwards, he was involved in that play, and Goodwin got out of the mix. And what's happened with Dustin Fletcher going off the ground, it means that he could have nearly played on a Goodwin. And what smart play to open up the goal square, the goal face, left side. That's exactly what you have to do. And matter of fact, Slattery's work on the mark was pretty ordinary.
Was it ever? No point arguing with the umpire.
No.
Trying to work out what's going on if you've got an alert player like Simon Goodwin.
Great presence of mind by Simon Goodwin to kick his third, just noticing that Slattery took his eyes off him.
He summed it up well. That's all he did.
Yep.
Bit of experience.
So Essendon got it back to
Another
24
clearance.
apiece. Since then, it's all Adelaide as McKay drives it long again. Standing in the way, though, was McPhee. Goodwin's got it, wants
that's
the
a
mark. Not paid by the umpire. Slattery wraps him up.
I think he thought that McPhee touched the ball first, but I think anybody who goes at the ball like that, and I don't think Simon Goodwin would try to con the umpire, because let's have a look at the jump here. Let's see. Anytime that's a mark.
That's a mark for sure.
Well, he thought that he could have given it to the player running past, which I think was Van Berlo, but he obviously was convinced he'd marked it, which he was.
Dyson from the congestion squeezes it out, gets it forward about 40 metres. John Cock, or Symes it is wrapped up by Lovett.
No talk.
They're untidy, aren't they, the Bombers at the contest?
Lonergan on hands and knees, trying to get it out towards
What's the quick
Laycock.
hands here? Bang, bang.
And that's what they do. Marich was the one that started that, did well. Bock ends up with it.
Just working into the game too, Bock.
Tight on the boundary, kick towards Goodwin again, the danger man. But this time McPhee crumbing, and away go Essendon here. Now this is promising. Leroy Jetta takes a bounce. Gill with the chase. Jetta kicks it out in front of Ryder. Lost it in transit. The handball by Dowdy, back. Well,
Gee, confident.
Marich, he'll back himself, wasn't he? Bassett, now Massey. And here we go round the other side. Bit of circle work. You go that way, we'll go this way. Symes decides to cut up the middle.
Well done,
McPhee
McPhee.
now on the half-back line. Worked well.
Lloyd's got forward here. There's a kick away.
Love it. Listening.
Well, Ryder's long.
Lloyd with the little chip pass. And Monfries runs onto it. And Monfries will take a shot. He is a very good shot for goal. He's within range.
He's done a good job on Andrew McLeod. I've got to give it to him because they've played totally negating on Andrew McLeod, who's had 7 possessions. Monfries has hardly touched it. He's had 3, but still,
Yeah, it's a
I'd
win.
take that any day.
Well, McLeod hasn't been dangerous, has he?
Nah. Matter of fact, there's something up Neil Craig's sleeve too, isn't it, at the end if the game got tight?
It's the worry.
You just throw him in the midfield or small forward.
It's a big kick. They trail by 25 points. They need one. And he needs it to hook back. And it's just to the line. It's a mark to Essendon.
Oh,
It's got to be.
Gee, I tell
Paddy
you what,
Ryder. Yep.
So,
Simon Goodwin wouldn't be happy up the other end.
What's in the square?
Well, Andrew Hill it is. Not in the square, so Hill has to come around.
big David Hill, as I say, is a beautiful set shot.
5 metres is
Gee, I'm
here.
looking forward to having another look at that.
That's the 5 metres here.
I thought my initial reaction was I thought it hit the post.
Take it, that's the line.
Kick
Yeah.
one in the second term.
That's your line.
He's got to be very smart here. He can go to 3 metres before the mark and then come out, because if he comes out early, the player inside him, the Adelaide Crows player, can go to him.
Well, he decided
Didn't
to
do
go
it well.
to the check side, Tony, and never looked like it. But you're right, you don't have to come out
No.
straight away. You can get up close and put a bit of height on the kick.
2 metres. Thank you.
What did I say before? It did not compute.
No. Look at the run, though, here from
Again from the
Crows.
huddle.
This is that huddle. It just
It's
doesn't
working
work
for
in the
them.
modern game, I don't think.
Well, it is
one-on-one
today,
stuff.
though.
No, well, the one-on-one stuff
Nah.
from the Bombers, they're not sitting up a zone.
And no outriders.
They're taking it from one end of the ground to the other here.
And can they get a mark in 50? They can't. Lovett Murray in the way of John Cock. Boundary throw in.
The Fletcher injury, we talked about John Cock, and I thought he was very dangerous in the first half on Fletcher. Ran Fletcher into the ground, really. We can see him sitting there. Looks like he's obviously got an injury of some sort. But now they've had to throw McPhee back into the back line, and I thought he was a pretty dangerous half forward.
Yeah, it's hurt him, hasn't it?
Just hurt their structure.
Shirley steals it,
clearance.
gave it to Douglas.
Another
Another clearance.
clearance.
Don't worry about that, Liam. Another goal.
Well, Shirley and I are both ex-midfielders. Mind you, very old now, but if you want to talk about games of footy and you want to talk about efficiency at clearances and stoppages, this is what it's about. Adelaide just get to the right spots. Look at the defensive pressure by Edwards. And look at the quick hands again.
Yeah.
You cannot win games of footy if you don't get your hands on the ball when it stops. And that's at a stoppage. And they're getting bashed in the middle. They're getting bashed around the ground. Bounce downs, throw-ins, centre square clearances. Unless Essendon can address that, they've got no hope in this game.
20 games for the season, 20 goals for Douglas. And plenty for Matthew Knights to think about, because the margin all of a sudden's out to 5
I'll
goals.
say it again, you can handball for 2 reasons: to be very offensive or to just be reactive under pressure and put the pressure elsewhere. And that's what's the difference between these two
There they go
sides.
again.
Kick 5 of the last 6, Adelaide, and they win the clearance. McPhee in best position for a spoil, but it goes over the back. Pressure on Michael.
That's deliberate.
Oh, that is deliberate. And the umpire
And
said
big.
it.
Yeah.
He said, well, you had no one outside you in the crowd. That is a very not a courageous decision, a good decision by the umpire, because Mal Michael just wanted the out clause.
Oh, he's lost him again.
Yeah.
Dangerfield just easy as you like to the lead of Gill.
He has been terrific. Nick Gill, he's taken 6 marks.
He's a workhorse. Nick Gill's a workhorse, and that, I'm not, no disrespect at all, but you know that you've got to play, you've got to have someone who can run and run long to play on Nick Gill.
Tight angle inside 50. Looks pretty good off the boot. Has he got enough on it?
He's better than a workhorse.
Umpire in good position. Another goal to the Crows. That's a wonderful finish from Nick Gill.
Tell you what, he's worked today. I mean, just watch the way he set up then. He lost Mel Michael, who got pink. And look at that, he's got 4 or 5 metres on him by the time the ball arrives. Good hit-up kick. And nice finish, because that's one area of his game.
Yeah.
Nick Gill, he's not renowned. And we have a look at that camera work. Terrific. Just over the line. It was a pleading effort, but, gee, I love the way they've used him today. When they keep it nice and low and he leads, it's a good player.
Much maligned with his kicking, Nick Gill. He's only played 14 games of football, been around for a long time at 25 years of age.
Nothing wrong with that. Set shot.
No, perfect finish. Adelaide really in control now.
Oh, well, if they're not going to get it out of the centre of the Bombers.
You've got to change your mix in there. You've got to put different personnel in the centre.
McPhee the spoil on Thompson, but first to it will be Douglas. He goes back by hand to Symes. And he goes to the left boot. In the Marriage direction. Big Van Marriage, a big catch.
Jason Laycock.
This is a real worry at the moment for the Bombers.
No doubt. And there's a couple of things that have happened here. Jason Laycock did not go with Marriage in that. Look at that at the back. You have to go with your man, especially when he's a ruckman who's going to go at the contest. And the other thing with Mel Michael, Essendon are not going to play finals this year. Mel Michael's retired. I'd be thinking, OK, we want to play as many kids as we try someone in that. Mel Michael, I would be thinking, won't be playing for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Even though it's a couple of games, make a decision now.
This man's certainly growing in stature for his 9th goal of the season, for another one for the Crows. Yes, indeed. Margin, 7 goals.
They got it in quick, they got it in hard, they got it in long, and they had a tall player there. Marriage should push forward, and that's a strong grab from a young developing ruckman. He's just come off for a spell, and Moran back on, McLeod off, John Cock back on. But unless they can start getting their hands on the centre, in the centre of the ground, they're really going to struggle.
Well, they've got Monfries in there, they've got Stanton in there. You've got to have some strong bodies.
Well, they've got to get, actually, you've got to get
maybe Peverill in
forward
there.
of the stoppage here. They're all behind the ball.
Have a look at their mix now. They've got Monfries, Stanton,
Dyson.
11-2 out of the centre.
That's a young centre bounce crew.
Yeah.
Well, no, I reckon they've got to have a player defensively for themselves. Crows hit backwards. They'll look to release with a handball backwards towards the Essendon goal. And unless they can get the mix right and they've got some players forward of that to stop that, I mean, they're not going to win the clearance. They're setting up all defensively behind Hill. The problem is the Crows know that. They'll feed backwards all day long.
Real problems here for Essendon. They do win a clearance here, though. Love it. They're going backwards. Nash gets it from Michael. Lloyd a long way from home. Just going short. Out to young Megan.
Not a lot of movement up forward, and it's wide anyway.
And there's
he hits the
Ryder.
target. Good kick.
Yeah. 4 goals in this quarter so far, all to the Crows. A lot of chat to Nathan Bock as Ryder hits it in the Laycock direction. Beautifully positioned for the spoil was Doughty, and the Adelaide defence continue to be very hard to penetrate. Again, they like the switch. Bock, well, he's got to get plenty on it if it's going to make it. It does. Good attack on the ball again. That's what you expect from Gill. He kicks it wider, pushes Campbell towards the boundary. He's got it on the chest. Good running. Loose man on now. Moran will take a bounce. Better be quick. Cuts back through the middle.
Far.
Took his time. Kick to the open space. Not the best option.
Kicked it to his opponent.
Yep. Hill. Not out of trouble yet, though.
No.
Slattery ducking under the tackle. Did well to get it to Nash. He shares it by hand out to Peverill. 21st disposal for him. And Matthew Lloyd again up the ground trying to help out in a very difficult time for his team. Adelaide swarming at a 42-point lead.
I'll tell you what, the Bombers have got Lonergan and Welsh on the bench. I think they're 2 hard nuts who might be better around the contest at the moment than some of their younger players.
But look at the difference, the stop-start stuff for the Bombers.
Yeah,
at the minute.
so it flows. And
Well, they're making a kick over the mark, as opposed to the Crows who are looking to handball and run and carry, basically.
Lovett Murray's got to go through the corridor here.
Oh.
He had to go to Hill. Adelaide had covered the wing.
1 on 2.
Ryder, though, he's got a good lead. Hands in the back. It'll be an Adelaide free kick against Ryder.
Immediately they look to play on.
look at this for a kick.
That's a terrific kick, you're right, Shorey.
Into the forward 50 they go. Stevens somehow marks it. Kick came from out wide of Riley, but they've got Stevens to shoot on goal to make the margin 8 goals.
Nathan Lovett-Murray, I don't think that was his fault. That was a great kick to position, but I don't like him on the last line of defence. I know without Fletcher, they've probably got to play him there now, but
they've got no choice. Stevens has let himself down, and some relief for Essendon. Wasn't another goal.
Well, let's have a little look at Laycock here. Not exactly what you call a hard chase, is it?
Gee, that is shocking.
And he's just visited the
bench.
Interchange to have his ears probably ringed by the coach for an effort like that. And it's indicative of the Bombers at this third quarter. They have been awful.
Lloyd trying to get his team back into it. Tumbles it forward. Watson in the pocket. Bassett in best position. Massey. Again, a loose man out on the wing for Adelaide. This time McKay started very well. Wants Gill.
Too easy.
And Stevens goes back into the... with the flight of the ball, I should say, and takes the mark and a chance to redeem himself on that poor kick last time.
Well, sure, you just said it about Nathan Lovett-Murray. Yeah, and look, Stevens has just reacted a lot quicker than Lovett-Murray on that occasion.
I think if you got Joe Watson playing up forward, you're nearly waving the white flag. He's the best midfielder, the best distributor of the ball.
This time, has he learnt? Has he hooked it back?
Yes, he has.
Oh, yes, he has. 5 straight in this quarter for Adelaide.
Well, Matty Knights, I just wonder what he's going to do. He'd still play. I'd keep playing attacking footy. They've just got to control some around the contest. But if you throw numbers behind the ball, what do you learn from it? And look at Nathan Murray there, just the way that he was doubled back into the corridor. You don't mind if Scotty Stevens took that mark on the boundary line and he forced him that way. To allow him to get back into the corridor shows he shouldn't be playing on the last line of defence. No Dustin Fletcher, that means he has to play there.
Stevens gets his second. Laycock's gone to the bench. Rowan?
Well, boys, looks like he copped a poke in the right eye. So he's just talking to the doctors now. They asked him to read the scoreboard, which he probably didn't want to read anyway. But, yeah, they're just checking out his right eye at the moment.
He sees that they're 49 points down.
And he's asked the doctor, is that right?
Is that right? It was only 19 points at half-time.
Hey, I don't care if you've got a poke in the eye. It means nothing when you chase like you did on the outer. That's about inclination.
Secondary bounce. And there's 9 minutes remaining in this term. Just for the sake of their game and the supporters, the Bombers have got to start doing something right now. Ball tumbling forward for Adelaide. Stevens punching it well. Here's Gill. Can he kick another one? High, wide, but handsome.
Oh, there you go. They can do it all right. They come back to another clearance, of course, from the Crows. I'm sick of banging on about it, but the work of Bock, the kick, and then the knock-on. Stevens knocked it on, and then again, clever, and he got it himself. Got a good shepherd. They're just really tuned into the match here, the Crows, this afternoon. But I love the work of Bock. He could have gone on his left foot on the centre wing, but he got back inside the Bomber players. And then Gill, well, he's kicked 2 for the quarter. He's pretty happy with himself.
Well, they said Adelaide didn't have a forward line without Burton and Paul Pleasure. Gill's got 2. Stevens got 2. Goodwin's got 3. They are absolutely flogging Essendon at the moment.
9 goal kickers. They had 12 last week, so they're getting up to there too.
And they have all the momentum at the moment. This third quarter is a long way from over for Essendon. Slattery not going far with that one. Bock in the way. They switch here. There's always a loose man the other side.
McLeod's one of them, I think.
This time, though, he's going to hit it long. Waiting for a big man to get there, but standing in the way is Ryder. Dropped the mark. Moran, just gave it over to Stevens. He tumbles it forward. Look, they're even getting kind bounces. Dangerfield, well wrapped
Good
up.
tackle.
Holding the ball.
Is that Welsh? I'm glad to see Welsh back on the ground.
Yeah, here he is now, and he gets it in the 1-2 from Nash. Good kick. Ramanaskas.
There's no flow, isn't there, Liam? It's just all stagnant football at the moment.
Well, it's a mirror image of what Adelaide do, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's how Adelaide play. I watched the Kangaroos do this to the Bulldogs last week as well early in the match. And it wasn't until the Dogs started to run and take some risks they got back into the match. And I can't see anyone initiating anything at the moment here for the Bombers. Look at this. It'll be 1 on 3.
Look at the help.
Good courage, too, from Dowdy to get there first.
That was magnificent play. Dowdy was 20 metres inside the corridor, and he saw that Edwards was out positioned by Stanton. He's left his man and ran 20 metres to spoil that ball. Great team play.
They've come again here, the Crows, haven't they, really, in the last 3 weeks? Since that Sydney game, they're playing the sort of footy they were playing before the 5 in a row losses.
Edwards from the clearance. Goodwin slides in, hit the ground. Good decision by the umpire.
Edwards up to 18 touches.
He's got back into the game, hasn't he, after a slow start?
Which is my point about him staying around the footy. That guy's that good as Edwards and McLeod. I'd like to see McLeod on the ball now, sure.
Yeah, just release him. Monfries wouldn't go with him, you wouldn't think, onto the ball.
No.
But in the context of the game, the way it's going for Adelaide, why do you need to change your structure?
Well, you probably don't, apart from
no.
to try and get... It's Magan now, it looks like the opponent, but look at this. I mean, they're non-competitive at the clearances, at the stoppages at the moment, the Bombers.
You're probably right, Matty. Maybe even McLeod, it's good to see that your side can have a good win without him having an impact, and he mightn't want to get inside and get physical, and maybe the chance of hurting himself with 2 weeks to go before finals.
Oh, I'm thinking for just the viewers.
Yeah, for us, I know that.
And selfishly wanting to see Andrew McLeod in full flight.
The whole country marvels when he does, when he's at his best.
Mind you, we're seeing some good kids here today,
Yeah,
I'll
we
tell
are.
you that.
Thompson going back.
Look at this.
Look at that player out the back.
Out the back all day.
And Symes knew it was going there all the time. He ran to that little hole, then he picks
a
it.
great kick.
Yeah.
That's his problem. That lets him down, Symes. He gets it a lot, but his turnovers.
Wasn't a great kick, but it was a decision-making actually try and kick it across your body to a 1-on-2 when they should be that confident. They should have gone to the fat side of the ground and gone to some space.
Yeah, he's trying to invent something out of nothing, wasn't he?
Tell you what.
Laycock back on the ground.
And he got the Bronx cheers because you know why? He ran hard to get that ball. When he had the chance to chase, he didn't run as hard. That's
McPhee.
That's a free kick.
Oh, that has to be a freak. The hand in the back.
That's why it was brought in. The Bomber fans,
Not happy.
even the young ladies, getting a bit angry frustrated with the team this afternoon.
Clever knock by Moran. Shirley.
He's been all right again,
It's just
Moran.
held to it. Yeah, he's just showing something, isn't he?
What's he up to numbers-wise? 9 touches, 5 handball receives, kicked a goal.
He's athletic. That's what he is.
Again, he made good position, but good smart of Thompson. Laycock going again. He's got it. Just gave it to Moran. Quick clearance onto the chest of Ryder.
Well, he's gone now to Gill
Yep.
because he's too mobile for Michael, which has left Stevens and Michael as a combination.
But I
don't
applaud
mind that matchup.
I applaud Matty Knight's decision at the start of the game to throw him forward, but necessity now with Fletcher
Yeah,
out
no
off
doubt.
has forced his hand.
Well, he's forced it with McPhee as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the game's been played in one half of the ground.
Adelaide too easy here. There's McLeod. Oh, an error.
The old 1-2 here.
Oh, there
couldn't
it
you
is.
call it?
On the burst. Long ball out in
That's
front.
how you kick it
Beautiful
in.
pass, and Dangerfield's got the pace to run onto it.
I tell you, you could read that. You could read that outside the ground, let alone watching it here.
Well, Jason Laycock can't. He can't see a thing.
14-4 inside 50s for the quarter.
Yeah, it's one way, isn't it?
Here we go. Look at this. As soon as it didn't hit the target, you knew he was going to try and set it up, the old 1-2, but that Magan, I think, just couldn't run with him. He's only a kid learning the game. He'll learn it on Andrew McLeod pretty quickly.
You talked about getting Welsh back on the ground. With all due respect to Paddy Dangerfield, he's been pretty impressive. He's playing in the back pocket. Welsh is playing in the back pocket on this kid.
Dangerfield's kick. Just a little bit close to the man on the mark there. Not a lot of momentum in his run-up.
He's probably been their best midfielder along with Joe Watson in the last 6 or 8 weeks, Andrew Welsh. He's playing in the back pocket on a kid playing his first game who's still doing year 12. I mean, is it me or do you think we're a bit under siege here, the Bombers?
Oh, they're under... No, they're under siege everywhere. And look at this for a kick out. Gee, that was hands in the back also. Interpretation's gone out the window this week.
88 plays 32, 4.5 minutes remaining third term.
Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, there's a hand. As a matter of fact, it doesn't matter how small a touch it is.
Shirley not going anywhere. He's been wrapped up a few times in this quarter, Robert Shirley's got no room to work.
Well, he's had the job on Job Watson, and he's done it pretty well. Watson's had his 15, but had no impact on the game at all.
There's Shirley again. This time it's with Lonergan in a dance. Moran off, Stevens on as we bounce it again.
Here it is again.
You might get your wish here, Liam. He's going to come into the game.
He has. He's pushed him up, I think.
But Essendon have the numbers this time.
But gee whiz.
Good handball.
Great handball from Watson. That's not bad either from Peveril, but eventually McPhee spilled it. Still Essendon, though. They get a second chance. McPhee kicks out wide. Monfries can run onto it. Heads to the 30 metres from goal. They get a jump at it. Crummer needed. Flipped over the back by Symes. It bounces over for Jetta. Leroy Jetta back to David Hill.
Good
Intelligent handball. And yes, that's one that they really, really needed. 2 goals to David Hill. And against the run of play, the Bombers get some reward.
Yes, well done to Leroy Jetta. 10 possessions for the game, but a quick handball inside. And I'll tell you what, Angus Monfries, look, he's had a hard job today on Andrew McLeod. He's done a good job on him, but he's a very disciplined player. Didn't have a kick at goal, didn't kick short, kicked the ball to the top of the square where they got their contest. Not a great bounce for Bassett, but Leroy Jetta, that's what you got to do. Play the team rules and abide by them till the end of the game. Well done, Angus Monfries.
Taken almost 25 minutes of elapsed time for Essendon to get their first goal in this term. The margin back to an even 50.
4-zip out of the centre to Adelaide for the quarter. And generally 10-3 around the stoppages. They've just mixed it up a little bit in here. You can see they've laid now forward for Essendon, which is behind the Adelaide ruckman, which is where they've been using their release play. They'll probably try to hit to a different space now.
Off the ground went Thompson. Van Berlo just went without it. Lonergan didn't.
Well done.
Megan to Watson. Dyson was involved. Here's Peveril, kept going. Good running from Damien Peveril. Kick let him down again. Chance for Stanton, keeping it alive. Hill, well, not this time, it was Lloyd. There's Hill.
Well done, Hill.
Lloyd, second go. Megan underneath all that gets bundled out of the way. Umpire letting it go for quite a long time. Eventually we have a whistle 30 metres from the Bombers'
I
goal.
still like their centre bounce clearance. They had Watson in there, Lonergan, players you know can do it in contested areas, and a better setup by Essendon.
Laycock flicks it out the back. He's looking for Jetta. It ends with McPhee. Stanton couldn't quite get hands to ball. Riley did well, spinning out of the tackle. Doughty's gone, holding the ball. McPhee will have a shot on goal.
Good pressure.
I think their tackling's been pretty good today. Problem is they haven't been able to use the ball as well, and that's a great tackle by McPhee. Good to see him in the forward line. He's probably just pushed down following his man. But even in the last 5 minutes, they've started to get a little bit of run and carry through the middle of the ground. They've got the corridor a couple of times. They've actually played on, and they've actually got their hands at the stoppages.
They nearly had 20 more tackles, Essendon, but I still think tackles can be overrated in one way. If it's not putting pressure to turn the ball over, all it means you haven't got the ball in your hand, which I think has happened a lot in this game.
They have chased a fair bit of backside this afternoon.
45 metres from goal, directly in front. As soon as he hit it, he liked it. 2 in a row to the Bombers.
Well, he's a good player, McPhee. He's a bit of a tease. He can play at both ends of the ground, but he's one of those players you think that he might be able to become a very good half forward, then you think maybe he's better suited at half back, but he does work hard. He's always been a hard worker.
I think he's had a good year. I think he's very good for him this season.
He's a good player.
Just his polish. I agree with you. Little things with his handball sometimes and disposal, but gee, you're right. He's a competitor.
So back to 44 points. That's what they've got, and that's what the margin is.
He's back to half forward now, which is, I think is a good move for Essendon.
Can they get 3 in a row here, Essendon? Marich.
See the release out the back again, though.
He's got very quick hands for a big man. Ivan Marich. Good one. Just onto the ground and involved. Stevens tried to break the tackle. He couldn't. Watson's handball was a little bit too much on it. Lonergan goes back to clean up. Sidestepping was Nash. That's high.
It's a headlock.
Yeah. The other thing, the players out the back, what you got to do, you got to understand, if you're that player who's floating for Essendon, you don't get sucked to the contest. You have to wait back.
Megan puts it out in front of Jetta. That's not a bad option normally. He runs onto it. Beats McKay one-on-one, then kicks it high. Hoping.
Yours.
Big leap. It was Stanton that came down, but without it, and Adelaide on the clearance.
That bloke's been out there all day.
Yeah.
That release player on the outer side of the ground.
Yeah, it's Riley.
They just know he's there.
He got it to Bock and the 1-2, and then Essendon have numbers here, 2-on-1 if they can keep it in. And Michael did exactly that. Back to Nash, and here we go again. Megan. Play on the call. And decides I'll just give it off to a senior player, see what he can do with it.
He's got Laycock long.
Yeah.
He's had a good little period, Laycock. The last 7 or 8 minutes, sure.
Yeah, he's going to just load up and hit it for Andrew Hill, or David Hill.
That's
a free kick. I thought that David Hill. I thought the player come from the front of the contest there, the Crows player.
Andrew Hill.
No, David Hill. Yeah. I corrected it just in time for you to go at me.
Oh, he won't miss you. Leo won't miss you, Matty.
No.
No one going anywhere that time. Inside the last minute, the Bombers have kicked the last 2 goals. Can they get one before 3/4 time?
Now, the trap is here to hit it to the empty goal square. Hill might they might go for the 3rd man up here and try to hit for some space, but Adelaide are very good at just putting players behind the footy. Oh, look at this.
Love it. Almost magnificent.
That's about as effective as they have been at a stoppage this quarter. An indiscriminate kick.
Look at this. You have to know that man on man from the kick out, in a huddle with no outriders, you are going to be cut down every time in the modern game. I cannot believe the setup from this kick in.
And Thompson's decided that his only option is long. Edwards, 1-on-1 with Nash. Nash wins the contest. To Jetta. Michael, he goes back. Lonigan. That's a nice pass. Stanton breaks, clears it quickly. Seconds ticking here, though, for Essendon. Laycock, another mark. Love it. Into the pocket.
Good kick.
It's a nice pass, and Hill's got it. So they may get one just before 3/4 time. It's a tough kick.
Another little period, though, isn't it?
Yep.
The Bombers have had.
They were blown away early in the quarter. They have fought back late. This is a very tough kick for Hill. Missed one earlier from a couple of metres, tight by the post. 40 metres, not bad off the boot. Just hit that post. He liked it as he kicked it, but it's not to be. But something to hang their hat on for Essendon as they go to the 3/4 time huddle. Adelaide have won all 3 quarters. They've got a comfortable lead here at the Dome. They lead by 42 points. Dangerfield, a bit of a chat there from Neil Craig.
Well, maybe just telling him about some of the things that maybe in the Crows setup, because if you're not training with him, you're not going into all the meetings, saying, look, maybe if you're leading up forward, we want you to go to this spot. And, he'll learn from this great hit out with the Adelaide Crows.
Just might have introduced himself, maybe. Well, he's living in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Everyone else is in Adelaide. He's in Geelong.
Let's head down to Rowan.
Moggs Creek.
Rowan.
Well, Matty, an interesting stat. I'll get that out in a minute. But the interchange today have been 76-44 in favour of the Crows, mainly due to the reason of the Essendon injuries. Now, the first one here is Courtney Dempsey, which is a little bit of a funny one, actually. They think that he has a fracture of the fibula, so that's a little bit of a funny one there too. Dustin Fletcher, he hurt his right groin, so he'll take no further part of the game. You can just see as he lays this tackle here now, he stretches that right groin. Also, Jason Laycock, he's just a little bit worried about his back, and also that poke in the eye, but he's out in the ground. He should be okay.
He was just involved there, Ron. Thank you for that. It's a busy afternoon down there on the Essendon bench. And the margin's 42 points, 7 straight goals. Speaking of 42, there's Nathan Lovett-Murray with the handball off to Lovett. Running for him is Stanton, going forward. Hill almost. Jetta crumbing, or just pinched at times. Reflex give.
Great hands.
Just good reflex. Firstly from McLeod, then from Bock. They still have it, and they are so composed on the last line of defence, and Bock spreads it to the other side. It's like, let's go back with quick hands and let's look out to the other side.
Done it all day.
Yeah.
Essendon haven't been able to control them at all coming out of defence. This is better. They've actually made them kick over the mark.
Douglas just chipping it out wide. It's a good one.
Hold there, Henry.
Pretty much man-on-man all over the ground here.
Shirley gets it from Goodwin, who was just sharing with Rutten.
Back out to
Rutten from Bassett.
Actually, look, they've got their back to him. Yeah. Essendon players on the wing are looking at their man. He's just cruising down here by himself.
And he's going to go long because Gill was one out. John Cock waiting.
Yuck.
He just waited. He knew it was coming there. And he finishes with a goal. John Cock gets another one for him. That's his second.
Well, I think McPhee's got the job on John Cock, and it was a 2-on-1 contest in the air. And as soon as you go in the air, great play with the switch from Bassett back to Rutten, who was involved in the play just prior to this when it went back to the centre corridor. And he could have gone out wide, Rutten, but smart play. Went to the top of the square. Now, let's have a look at this contest. McPhee, well, he's under the ball. You've got to probably try and go for it if you can, but you've got to change the momentum around that it comes forward of the pack. Graham John Cock, well, that's like a Christmas present, isn't it? Beautiful.
2 goals to Graham John Cock, and bright start for the Crows in this final term. The result will go their way, but they are looking to just continue their form heading towards the finals. Almost Edwards, the one-hander. Slattery, he threw that out. Goodwin scooped it up. Slattery went back and in the end helped out. Now Laycock's going to get it from Welsh. Off he goes with a bounce. Inboard, Lonergan. Heads towards Lloyd, who's coming. He's coming. Almost got it, Matty Lloyd. Still going. Tried to fish it out wider. Jetta there looking for something to happen. Hand on the ball. Also there, Lovett. Trying to keep alive the Bombers, not to be.
Just want to have a look at this bit of play when the switch came back. Now look at the Essendon players in the corridor there. Not even looking at the bloke with the ball. They're just watching their own man. I think you've got to have some sort of, be a little bit alert about what's happening around you. Because Ramanauskas was one of them.
Hard to get free here, Symes. There's
See,
4 or 5 players just not even looking at the ball.
Weren't even looking at the footy. I mean, that was staggering. He's just cruised down the wing and basically kicked it inside 50, and they've got the ball hit the ground and they kicked the goal.
It's commonly called self-preservation.
Well, have some sort of awareness about what's happening behind you.
That's exactly what it is. They think of themselves when you're under pressure to do your job on your opponent without helping out. That'll be shown a number of times. And you're right.
Well, it was quite staggering.
Moran with the punch. Ramanauskas first to it. Throws the boot on the ball. Here's a chance. Numbers. One of them is Watson. He hits the post. Well, they had 3 players crumbing in the right spot. Unfortunately for Jobe Watson, he couldn't finish off.
Here they go, the same spot again. All day they've just allowed this to happen, this one-on-one stuff from the kick-ins. Can't quite get your head around this. And sure, it's time for a zone.
Michael under pressure.
3 quarters ago, maybe.
Edwards is wrapped up by Lloyd.
Okay, it's one-on-one obviously this quarter. You can see that.
Van Berlo, quick give to McKay. Outstanding work. Gee, that was quick hands. But Ryder going back.
Crows fans will be sitting back in Adelaide today thinking, just seeing some good signs here, these young players. Seeing some good signs, these young ruckmen. We seem to be getting our hands, quick hands around stoppages. We seem to be using the ball coming in from defence really well. We've found a couple of goal-kicking options up forward.
Yep. With the pace of Lovett.
Lloyd
is coming.
Good handball.
Gets the handball off to Monfries. Monfries in turn, another handball out wide. Lovett Murray up forward, dribbles it through, gets one back for Essendon.
Well, they haven't thrown it in. They look like they have gone with this one-on-one mentality, mainly because I think Matty Knights thought they were getting belted just by playing their own style. And that's good. It's a good place to start from, and you can measure it because you can see who else is going to beat their man on the time. Lovett Murray, I think he's a better player across half-back, or matter of fact, playing as a medium forward because he's a dangerous player and he's got some leg speed. You talk about game style. Sorry, Matty. You talk about game style. I just thought, see here, this punch here, I would think this is against team rules to punch the ball to the front like that. You know, Adelaide are so good at going out the side and out the back. I think they'd show that to say you've got to spoil wide as much as you can, because you just open up the goal face like they did. Luckily, Watson missed the goal.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, Shorey. And I reckon it's because he was outsized. I think that's all he could do in the end. Otherwise, he would have taken the mark.
You can't hit the arms anymore, can you, from behind?
So you've just got to have alert smaller defenders, I suppose, that to make sure that they can't get a run at the goals like that. But you're right. If possible, I'd like to spoil to the side defensively.
Stanton, handball just a little bit short for Michael, but he did well. Nash is having plenty of the footy. That's disposal 28 for him, and a strong mark from Ramanaskas. Here's Nash again.
Well done.
On the burst, kicking long. Whoop, Moran thought about it, was just a half a second, although he was going to stumble and fall there. He got in the right spot.
I don't care who it is, Matty. Whenever that ball's over your head, going back into that spot,
You know someone's coming.
the 10 seconds of pain's better than the lifetime of embarrassment if you duck your head.
Bock forced to play on. The switch is okay. Doughty. Now, Essendon have done pretty well here. They've locked it up. And almost a turnover, Slattery. Van Berlo has it. It's this one-on-one play that we're seeing from the Bombers. They're just, Matty Knights, as you said, Tony, just trying to work out who can be accountable.
Well, Dangerfield slipped forward here.
Don't know, man. What you do if you're a Essendon player and the man does slip out, you just go straight back in the huddle.
With a young team, it's not a bad thing to try. If you're trying to learn a bit about your group, you can see it. That's a great camera angle of what's ahead.
What you've got to do here, Essendon players, you know they're trying to make space to the boundary. A dangerous kick is back into the corridor. Play 2 metres outside the boundary side of them, so they make it a long kick and force the issue. That's exactly what you want them to do, is to kick down the line like that.
Well, they did. They got the desired result. They got the footy, but
turn it over.
Just a messy handball.
Keep running.
And here's
here.
Gill. Oh, look, this might go through. It could be the ugliest goal we've ever seen. Oh, yeah, it's magnificent. That's not in the textbook, but it's his third.
You can just see it. By the time it munged off his boot, he kicked it on the inside of his foot. And, Matty, you caught it beautifully. He had the eyes lit up here. Again, pressure of Adelaide. And Gill, he had nothing he could have really gone short to. It would have been about a 30-metre kick one-on-one, but he kicked it, it just wobbled, it bounced, it wobbled.
Oh,
it went through. Look at that, he's kicked that.
Well, if the idea was right, the technique was pretty ordinary.
Well, they say it's all about the prestige.
He'll say he meant that after the game.
The final part of the trick is what it's all about, and the final part of the trick was the goal.
He's had a good game.
I love his competitive spirit.
Gill with three.
Clearance.
Look at that. Riley, long, here's Gill. Oh,
free kick.
Against Ryder.
All right, let's see. He might kick this one with his knee.
Gee, you don't mind it. That's a defence killer when you can just get a clearance as easy as that.
Paddy Ryder still thinks he's in the forward line, Liam.
Yeah, that's just...
No, that's ordinary, Paddy.
Well, the worst part is that McPhee backs back and takes the mark. So something for Ryder to think about. But this, for Nick Gill, 2 goals in a minute.
Well, I don't think it's backed in yet.
Not yet.
Matthew.
It's an opportunity.
Oh, yep.
Yes, he hooks it around. He continues to dazzle at the Dome. He's got 4.
Oh, well done, Nick Gill. And pretty ordinary play by Paddy Ryder. I don't know if the runner will go out to Paddy Ryder, because you don't want to see... You want to see that in the forward line. You do not want to see that in defence. And he's been playing in defence a lot. That is just a give-me goal. Well, with Nick Gill kicking a goal, it's not a give-me goal. But, gee, Nick Gill, he's only played, I think, 14, 15 games. So he gives you something up forward. They're missing a couple of very good players up there. And he gives you a competitive target.
It's his personal best in his very short career. He's got 4. Adelaide out to a 9-goal lead as Douglas gets his thigh worked on. But yes, Nick Gill enjoying his time up front for Adelaide.
Do you reckon at the end of the game, they do his press conference, Neil Craig, what did you like most about this game? It will be the ball use, their work at stoppages, and the effort of Ivan Marek in the ruck against one of the premier ruckmen in the competition. I think he's been terrific today.
They're going forward again here, Adelaide. The spoil comes from Michael. Lovett Murray. Inboard, Peveril under the pump, but he managed to give it to Dyson. In turn, Lovett Murray combines with Lonergan. Good running here, Essendon. On the end of it, Hill out in front of Monfries. 55 metres from goal.
Lloyd's on.
Well, he's going to hit it high, and he's going to hope Laycock can get there in time. Lloyd had to beat 3. This time, another crummer. It's Megan. What's he done?
Well done.
He's kicked his first goal. First goal in league football to Reece Megan.
Good on him. Angus Monfries, just before you... What about that kick to the top of the square? It wasn't in the square, which is easy to spoil. Here we go. Just take us through this.
Well, if you have a look at this is where Adelaide are so good. They all get out and help, but the problem was 3 flew and the Essendon players stayed on the ground. And you have a look at this. Great that they all want to go and help out Rutten, who was under the pump a bit. But when you direct opponent, then you spoil it straight into his arms. Well done by the young fella with his first goal. It's been okay. Done some nice things today.
Young boy from Queensland off the rookie list, and he gets his first goal in league football. Earlier today, Patrick Dangerfield with his first kick in the game. Slotted one through. So an answering goal there for Essendon, but again, it's a centre clearance for Adelaide. This time it's Goodwin. Where's Gill? There he is. Oh, he's up for half a dozen, surely.
Yeah, he's on fire.
He plays in front. You've got half a hope if you're playing in front all the time. He got some lead-up targets early days, and look, again, he's in front of Paddy Ryder. Again, it was a centre clearance.
Yeah,
again, Merrick got his hands on the footy.
Now, he kicked the last one. This one's only a 35-metre kick, almost directly in front. That's the Nick Gill we expect.
That's a bit harsh.
No, well, his kicking has been a problem.
No, it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
He knows that more than anyone.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't want to hear it,
Yeah,
though.
exactly. Yeah, we'll get a replay. This is kick 4, his first time in the game ever.
He's going fantastic.
And Matt Campbell's kicking him in the head.
I'm not.
He's been good this afternoon.
He's been outstanding. I still think he's got more to come.
I still think if you're Neil Craig, you'd be a little bit nervous if he was going to win a game after the siren from 40 out, though.
Exactly.
That's a better way of putting it, Matty.
Yes. Oh, that's a shocking kick. That's a shocking kick.
Turnover. McKay throws it on the boot. He needs a kind bounce. He doesn't get one.
A bit of advice there from the umpire.
50-point margin. Michael, flat-footed.
It's a pretty ordinary handball, actually.
He did well to get out of it.
Yep. Peveril back to Dyson.
Well done, Ricky Dyson.
Not out of trouble yet, though, Adelaide. Lovett's got to beat a couple.
There's
Is
that
another
handball.
quick handball?
Yeah, it's a reflex give. It was
Look at
Gill
this.
again, and look at this on the way back.
Uh-oh.
He's been called to play on, Stevens. Nick Gill. Oh! Yeah, he's due now. He's had one bad one.
Well, now that stanza of play was exactly what I've been talking about all day, about handballing for handballing's sake, to take the pressure off yourself but not release the pressure from your teammate. They had 5 handballs in an area of 20 metres and then turned the ball over. That's the difference between the handballing of Adelaide and Essendon.
Another shot on goal for Gill. It's at the post.
He's done it all, hasn't he?
I'll tell you what he's done in this last quarter. He's outworked Paddy Ryder. He was still jogging back from the stoppage back here. Gill pushed forward and got dangerous. Paddy Ryder, if he's going to play defence, is just going to have to be a bit more urgent than that.
He's mongrelled one through. He's missed one. He's kicked one. And he's hit the post. 4 shots on goal. There's Ryder with another leap.
She's been up a few times, Paddy.
Yeah. It's coming back for Adelaide, though. Nash has worked very hard. So too Peveril. Michael has it, forced to go back. Slattery with the switch. McPhee now in some space. Can take it and go. Up the middle. Oh, cut off beautifully by McLeod. Saw it coming from outside 50. He's all class.
Well,
He just read that brilliantly.
the variation of foot skills just stood out here. Now look at McPhee, no pressure, tried to do the right thing, come back in the corridor, kicked it with the outside of the ankle, and you do not want to kick it to this man. And this is just a measured kick. Don't kick it hard. Picked up the angle, and away you go. Just great finish. Gee, that just shows you the total difference in this contest today. The foot skills and I think the coolness of the Adelaide Crows midfielders. Just want to talk about the pressure as the handball. We talked that turnover went back to Nick Gill. Look what happens here. Over the top, you're not running forward. The man who receives it doesn't run forward. He handballs to someone else to release pressure, but still not running forward with any momentum at all. Back, pressure again. We try to relate to another sensational play by Adelaide, but this has been the problem with Essendon all day about how to handball to make forward momentum instead of get out of pressure.
Another clearance, Adelaide. Dangerfield got it from Riley. Stevens working well. Can he take possession against Michael? He can't. Big Mal back to Dyson. Slattery, quick give. Ryder didn't want it. Hasn't been his best day. Here's Nick Gill again. He's everywhere at the moment. Essendon, though, with some numbers. Clean take, Watson. Very good. Lovett Murray to Lovett.
That's better.
That's the handball that Tony's looking for. He's on the burst here. 2 bounces. Can he keep going to 60 metres out? Long ball, Lloyd in best position. Got it. He's kicked a couple. As I mentioned earlier in the day, he made his debut against Adelaide in 1995, and he arrived as a player in 1996 in his 10th game when he had 30 disposals and 7 goals against the Crows.
What the forward momentum of the hand, and what it makes you love it like an 80-metre player. He kicks at 40 or 50, but he runs with it 30 because the handball allows him to run in the space. Great ball movement. You get that in there every day and that quick, you'll kick goals like this easy.
It's a soda for Lloyd. Essendon get another one back. It's high-scoring last quarter here at the Telstra Dome.
Oh, they got the corridor. You're right, Shore. He's spot on. He's had a good game, Andrew Lovett. He's tried really hard today. He's been able to tackle. He's had 5 tackles. What's he had? 19 possessions. He's had 7 inside 50. And I'll tell you what, when he's actually got the ball, he's actually looked dangerous.
Yeah.
He's actually had a very good game this afternoon. He can hold his head up. There hasn't been too many winners for the Bombers. Maybe Peveril. I think Dyson's worked pretty hard as well, but yeah, they've got a fair bit of work to do here, the Bombers. This is a long way off 4th to 8th, basically. Well, enough said. 18-4 out of the centre.
That is amazing, isn't it? That you just cannot win because your defence, doesn't matter if you've got good players like Dustin Fletcher in there at any time, something will give, and it's given today.
Here they go again. Oh, he just fumbled.
Marriage again.
They'll still get it.
Gee, Marriage is very good with his hands.
19-4 now. And look at the end result. Look at this.
Gill on the end of the pass.
I'm sorry.
What will he do this time?
I'm sorry, Matty. Matthew Knights would be sitting up in the box right now saying, we've talked about it all day, but, I mean, they're just second to the ball. Oh, they've got to change their mix, or they've got to change their positions, or just guard an area. Man-on-man's not working. They've got the all-Australian ruckman, basically.
He's kicked it to the man of the mark. That's 5 completely different results for 5 shots on goal in this quarter. Is there any left?
He's got a mixed bag happening at the minute.
I want to listen to Neil Craig about Nick Gill after the game. Just what do you think's happening? It is just magnificent, this.
But the great thing is he's taken, he's had 5 shots of goal in 1 quarter of footy.
That's the positive.
Yep.
The negative
is we don't know what's going to happen.
The 1 goal he kicked.
He's got 2.
He's kicked 2. Yeah, he kicked that 1 goal off the instep. Then the set shot. Then the man on the mark.
And a poster.
Well, is it just me that, or does Paddy Wright have to work a bit harder all the same? I mean, there wasn't much he could do with that spearing kick out of the centre. That goes all the way back to their ordinary setup, but...
As I said, the clearances, though, something has to give. I don't care how good a defence you've got. Sooner or later, if you're getting clearances as clean as they are, your foot skills are going to hurt you.
There's another clearance, but the handball goes astray. Stanton runs back onto it. Nash still going.
He's had a go too, Nash.
Nash and Peveril are involved there. Lovett Murray could get 2 for the quarter. Just the goalkeeper.
It was.
The goalkeeper.
All right, let's have a look at this kick in here. Again, look out here.
You cannot play man-to-man in modern... I don't think so. Not in the modern game if the opposition are so organised like the Adelaide Crows. Look at this. They might not touch the ball the whole length of the field here.
This is not a replay, even though it looks like every time it's kicked into that left of screen that they end up with the ball there.
Gill.
Here's this man again.
Another mark. Double figures now for him. That's not a bad pass from Nick Gill. Going through Shirley. Goodwin just kept the boot on the ball to keep it going his way. Clever handball. Nick Gill.
We should have laughed. He's had a sensational game.
He's had 20 disposals, 10 marks, 4 goals, 3. And is just enjoying an absolute purple patch in this last quarter.
I tell you what, Liam, one thing, they won't
not
just be
wrong.
looking at the clearances and the centre bounces, they'll be looking at the kick-ins and their setup.
Is it 9 disposals this quarter, Gil?
Yep. Going backwards
Say-
here.
whoop.
Oh, here he is again. Lloyd tackles him. Rutten, great skills for a big man. Into the pocket, Stevens. Van Berlo lurking.
Kept his
Takes
head
it,
over it.
kept
well
his head over
done.
the ball and kicks a point.
That deserved a goal there.
Oh, they can sniff fourth spot. Simple as that. Let's have a little look at this one from Simon Goodwin. No, let's keep that playing. They very rarely paid anyway.
Yeah. Not enough momentum through the kick.
We didn't have the big follow-through. Where if you absolutely miss the ball, you take someone's head off.
51 points is the margin. Watson has the ball. And out wide to Welsh, and that's not clean, not pretty.
That just showed everything, just how stagnant. Just one thing, conversely to the kick-ins when Essendon are going man-on-man, Adelaide are playing a full zone, so they're just implementing some things which they think they might use in finals.
This time Welsh gets it from Peveril. High ball.
Good
Oh,
mark.
good mark.
Bock.
No.
Strength. Thompson thought about a switch, wasn't on.
Seriously.
Kicks in the Gill direction. Still going. Gets one high.
You got to move. Oh, wow, I wouldn't move Paddy Ryder now. I said, you've got to see it out, son. I know it's hard and this bloke's on fire.
Yeah, but he's not doing anything different, Shorey. This is the disappointing part. Paddy Ryder's a talented player. He looked pretty good in the forward line early, did some nice things, but he's just trailing in his opponent here. I don't see a lot of effort from Paddy Ryder at the minute.
Well, Nick Gill's had 11 disposals for the quarter. He is exhausted. With Monfries, though, now.
Kick.
Yeah, Ramanauskas onto the chest of Lloyd.
Might be 50. No. Umpire said the push was in the action of the marking contest.
Shorey, the Ryder one, just want to ask you that. I mean, we know how talented he is, and we know long-term he's going to be such a good player, but, you know, does he need to put more effort in when he's being beaten? Because
Well,
he's being beaten. He's had 11 possessions
yeah.
his opponent to his 1 or 2.
You probably ask your coach for a bit of help at times when you're a young player. But you're right. Does he take front position on Nick? He's probably worried about his body strength going to the front. But you're right. If you're 11 possessions, you need to go to the body front, but go to the front of the body and see if you can change it around. I agree with you on that.
Lloyd trying to bring it back, but it stays way out to the right. Still in play. Rush behind, taking no risks, the Adelaide defence.
And I think if he wasn't such a talented player, you'd sort of say, oh, well, he's just having one of those days. But have a look at this. The release player again. The huddle, it's an half-back. Here comes the loose man.
You'll play on here maybe, Andrew McLeod, if you can.
Oh, that's a terrible kick.
That's a mongrel from McLeod.
Love it's
Can
gone.
Essendon make him pay? Monfries, Peveril, trying to get it back to Lloyd. Now McLeod's going to clean up his own error.
There it is again, out there.
They released to the outer side. Douglas didn't get the bounce he wanted.
Oh, don't tell me it's, you know who? No.
No, Campbell in underneath that.
Douglas is out.
Yeah, Douglas just kept going forward, didn't he? And chipping it over the top. Alive for Adelaide. Goodwin, hoping someone was running onto it. Ryder there first, though, for the Bombers. Kick off the outside of the boot was intentional.
It was fantastic.
It was clever, wasn't
Look
it?
at the chase.
Great chase. And in the end, Van Berlo causing the error from Stanton.
How good is that? Late in the game when you've got the game sewn up, that just shows you what mentality they've gone into this game with.
Sure, it's 25 minutes of the last quarter.
Yeah, that was just beautiful.
Saw Matty
to watch.
Campbell from North Melbourne do that. Not the commentator Matty Campbell, who's sitting here, who's never done it in his
I
life.
never saw him chasing it
Matthew
like that.
Campbell from
It's
North
very
Melbourne
true.
did it at the 32-minute mark last week for North Melbourne.
Well,
it summed up their attitude on the day as well.
Yeah, but he's got a bit more speed than the other Matty Campbell too.
Oh, no, hang on. Bassett round the corner, back to the game. That's Campbell there. Giving off to Nathan Block, wants to get in on the action with a goal. Couple of bounces. Outside 50,
Yeah,
kicks to
Nick
the
Gill.
square. Here he is again. He won't miss this one. What a corner from Nick Gill.
Now, I'm not going to be critical on Paddy Ryder that time because he actually had worked his way to the front and it was right with him. He didn't trail him in. I actually took a perfect note of what he actually did then when the ball was coming in. This guy is on fire.
It's been a full bag of tricks, hasn't it, in this last quarter?
He won't
this
miss
for
this,
his
Matty.
fifth.
Couldn't.
No.
He won't. Lovely finish from Nick Gill. 5 goals.
Well, I thought for a minute there they were
Oh, no, you can't take Nick Gill off the ground now.
Look now, all right, let's look at this one-on-one in the goal square. See, Ryder's right there. He actually had front position. Gill just slipped around behind him and then got in front of him. Look, so he's there in front. He lost a bit of body contact there. That's not the kid's fault. He was right with him. It's those trail-up ones that is the worry. And what's Neil Craig doing?
He's exhausted.
He's got
Don't take him off, Neil.
No sense of theatre. No sense of theatre, Neil.
A well-earned rest for Nick Gill. 5 goals, 3, 11 marks, 22 disposals, 12 for the quarter.
And we just saw him then. I think someone said something over the fence and he's pointed up to the scoreboard of there's the 5.
5 goals. Under 3 minutes remaining.
Surprise, surprise, another clearance.
And
Out of the
with
centre.
ease, wasn't it? Stephen's the man who took Gill's place. They've got some numbers though, Essendon. Going back, Stanton. Round the corner, clever kick. Hard one for Megan to take though. Adelaide keep it alive. This time, McKay.
Oh, good vision.
And a diving mark to Douglas. And another goal, or another shot at goal coming up for Adelaide.
Well, Richard Douglas, probably one of his quieter games. He has kicked a goal, but you know what he does I like about him? He opens up space. You've got to put a player on him because he can mark above his head fairly well. He's a dangerous small forward, which they probably need at this stage because Burton being out and Portplesia not being there.
Well, they found a few of those guys in the last 12 months, 18 months. The no-namers.
Been a terrific performance by the Adelaide Crows and another goal for them. The margin now over 10 goals.
And really highlighting the difference between a very professional, whilst there's a lot of young players in the Adelaide side, they've still got some experience out there that come to the fore when need be, but it hasn't been those players today that have led the way. And the Bombers also a very young team, but you know, it's been these sort of players, the likes of Van Berlo, and Thompson's become a real leader. Symes has been good today. Riley, Gill, outstanding. And like even Mackay's kicked then. I mean, it just summed him up.
Smart
and I like
play.
the 2 big blokes. Moran, I've liked his game. I've liked Marix as well.
We saw Gill kick a goal and come off. We saw Douglas kick a goal and now come off. But what a terrific team effort by the Adelaide Crows. Just over 32,000 people here. And they're out to a 62-point margin. They have really dominated in this circle. Peveril continues to try for the Bombers. He gets a clearance and it falls to the chest of Laycock.
Oh, he's hurt his ankle too. Probably one of the first clearances they've nearly won all quarter. Peveril, he's been, look.
Peveril and Nash have had it 65 times between
In one word, I don't mind Nash. I think Nash is going to be a fairly good midfielder. You know, he played across half-back most of today. He's quick, he's strong. But,
He's actually a very good kick.
The sign of Peveril getting a lot of the ball and being one of your better players, you don't really want that happening for your club.
Laycock gets plenty of distance with the kick and gets some accuracy as well.
We've marvelled about the handball and the in-close work of Adelaide today. You look at these stats, and we have a look at this again. Very rare they've won a clearance like this. Essendon have had, 178 kicks, 194 handballs, mainly under pressure. Adelaide have now turned it around. They're 194 kicks, 159 handballs, which is about the right ratio. When the Bombers have been under pressure, they've handballed and they've handballed themselves into trouble all day.
So Laycock, the goal kicker. And it has certainly been an entertaining last quarter. Not so much as a contest on the scoreboard, but plenty of things have happened. Plenty of goals. Megan missed with the handball. Dyson under some pressure.
Smart play.
Yep. McPhee running hard. And he's going to get it back. And he's going to kick it long. Laycock again the target. Over his head. Ramanauskas arrives. Boundary throw in inside the last minute.
Yeah, you just got to have a better mix than that. 181 kicks, 200 handballs. Had a lot more ball than Adelaide. Nowhere near as efficient.
They've played basically with 20 for the second half. And Laycock is limping around in the goal square, so numbers have been a problem for Essendon. But getting hold of the footy first has been the bigger problem.
Yeah, he's got to throw that out. Oh, the umpire's taken a bit of pity on him, Scotty Stevens.
Peveril just drifting it forward.
Well, the Bombers have won, I reckon, about as many games as I thought they would at the start of the year, sure.
Yeah, look,
you know, eight to 9 games would be a good result for them. They won't be happy with this effort today, but they're playing against a side that could end up being in the top 4.
And they have been impacted with injuries. You know, everybody looks for excuses in certain ways, but I think they have major good players out at different times. It has really impacted on them. So I think it's been a solid year for Essendon. Some good signs.
Some good signs there, some young players on the way back, but...
Siren sounds. At last, Adelaide have defeated Essendon in Melbourne, and let the celebrations begin.
Wow, wonderful effort. He was good. Brad Moran this afternoon. Matty Lloyd, a disappointing 250th. He kicked 3 goals this afternoon. Just didn't get the supply in the end. And let's get down, I reckon, to Rowan Smith, who's with our man, Nick Gill.
Well, boys, I am with the man at the moment. Nick, it was a very important game for the Crows today, but you come out away with a terrific win in the end.
Yeah, well, there were 2 things riding on. Obviously, you know, if we got the win, then we get the spot in the finals, which is great now. We can't relax, of course, and also the 18-year hoodoo, which has been hanging over our heads for the whole week.
Did you speak about that during the week and never beaten Essendon in Melbourne?
It was touched on, but the Adelaide media was certainly beating it up, and you can't really avoid it too much.
What about now? You've cemented your spot in the 8. Top 4 is the main aim now?
I mean, it's a real cliche, isn't it? But we're just looking to St Kilda now, try and get up there, and then, you know, after that, we'll see what happens.
What about yourself? What did you take at 3/4 time? Because you were absolutely on fire in the last quarter.
Not too sure, just a bit of Powerade and water as usual, and yeah, just tried to get a bit of it and tried to stop myself from doing too many clangers.
Well, you certainly didn't do that, but a lot of the talk about the Crows has been without Paul Pleasure, without Burton, where are the goals going to come from? You kicked 5 today yourself, but it's been an even contribution from everyone up the forward line.
Yeah, I think it's been amazing, and even the midfield as well are pitching in. We had 12 goal scorers last week. We had quite a few this week, and you know, I think it's a really even spread, which is good for the depth and good for the goal scoring.
Well, Nick, congratulations on your game today, mate. Well done. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks very much.
Yes, Nick Gill with a quarter of football he'll long remember.
Well, there it is. We're looking for that magic wand every week, and all it is Powerade and water. For a 5-goal, a great return. And look, you can just see he's a player, I think, who knows his limitations. He said, I just wanted to avoid as many clangers as I could. Don't worry about the 5 goals, but look, a great effort by the Adelaide Crows. Very professional. They set up a lot better than Essendon. The clearances, centre bounce clearances, kick-ins were a problem for Essendon. More that the setup from their points. And what was it, 49 to 24 clearances and 20 to 6 centre bounce. Well, you cannot win a game if those are the stats at the end of the game, Matty.
They had a good mix, and it was mentioned by Nick Gill, a mix of goal kickers, 10 different goal kickers today. They found some forwards, and they weren't the usual suspects. Gill with 5, Goodwin kicked 3. John Cock playing forward was good, kicked a couple of goals. Richie Douglas kicked a couple, and Stevens, as a marking player, kicked a couple as well. They've come to town and they've done something they haven't been able to do before, and they've beat Essendon in Melbourne. And I think they're a very good team and a very good chance at the end of this weekend to be sitting in 4th spot.
Comprehensive victory for the Adelaide Crows. Importantly for them, they've won 4 in a row, and the hoodoo has been broken. Adelaide have defeated Essendon by 56 points.